Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the GCU Esports YouTube channel. My name is Mason. Joining alongside me is Joseph. Tonight, we're bringing you the final broadcast production of GCU Esports, at least for this semester, until next time is what the title stands for. But Joseph, more Valorant, that's what we get to end things off with. I'm excited. How about yourself?
I'm really excited. Valorant's probably one of my favorite games to cast, if not the favorite. I just don't know how the Smash guys are going to take it if I say it outright. I really enjoy our Valorant matches. They're probably the most competitive I've ever seen when we stream things. So that's why they're my favorite. And then, obviously rooting for the guys because we know them a little more one-on-one.
Yeah, we've had some competitive matches throughout the entire semester, so it's been nice to see the GCU Lopes really shining out in a lot of the games. They're currently sitting at 5-3 in the NECC division standings, and although they can't improve of their standing or coming into the end of last game here of the semester, they still have the opportunity to win and be double their wins over the losses, which would be nice to finish out the season at 6-3 off of a win, especially to go ahead into playoffs. You've got that momentum you can build off of. Really good stuff from GCU overall.
Yeah, I mean we've seen them grow better and better as the year progresses, and I mean really showcasing that when beating UCSC Gold. That was a top moment for all of them. They were super excited. We were super excited. That was one of the best matches to cast because it was so close the entire time. So very entertaining.
Yeah, we actually unfortunately had a forfeit to the UCSC B team.
Yep.
The blue team didn't want to show up after the main banana slugs were squashed a little bit. So at least we know that Hawaii hashing up the Wave Riders are the opponents for the Lopes tonight. They currently sit at the standing 7th and at a 4-3 total overall score. Last week they finished off of a forfeit, and then the week prior their match had not been completed. So it's been a little while since the Wave Riders have played a match, but still there's a little bit of a rivalry between these two rosters, and I'm excited to see how things play out in the match tonight.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, last semester I casted on their second game, so the follow-up, so the rivalry had already started, and it was a pretty tight game because we were like, we really need to hand them their loss because these guys apparently know each other. Like the teams know each other, so they heckle each other. It's friendly competition and banter. So they were like, we need to hand them the loss. We need to hand them the biggest L, and it was really funny because you could see them go crazy. I think that game was one of those games where Nader did one of his famous op runs where he was just opping the entire game. It was really entertaining to watch.
Well, we love to see that from the Lopes. Speaking of the Lopes, let's talk about the roster that they're bringing out tonight. Check out this video and, enjoy some of the exciting stuff that is to come. Well, there you have it. There's the Lopes. We do have a sub in for the Lopes today, or at least trying things a little bit different. Our very own Eli, who also works with us here at the broadcasting team, is going to be filling in for Alex. So we'll see how the Lopes are able to work with the team overall, having Eli step in. We wish him the best of luck. Mr. Bossman will hopefully be atop of the scoreboards and representing not only the broadcast team, but the Lopes as well. On the other hand, you have the Wave Riders. Their name's a little tricky to pronounce. It kind of gets to be a little bit Wave Rider, as there is no R at the end, so it makes it a little fun. But their roster consists of Cold QT, Ghost, Frog, Blade, Burst, Boss, and Encrypto. So a nice developed lineup of a lot of names. Blade Burst Boss, I think we'll just go by Blade Burst to make things a little easier for us.
He went with that triple B name.
Really wanted to give us a hard time, didn't he?
Are they a fan of the Ball family? Big Baller brand, is that where that came from? He was like, I need 3 Bs.
Right,
yeah.
Well, maybe a little extended, but
yeah.
Well, when it comes to maps, we did finally get the map bans in. So just so that you all know where we're going, I'm going to check my phone where I got the captain to message me. The first map is Ascent, where GCU will start on the defense. The second map is Split, where GCU starts on the offense. Final map being Fracture, where GCU will be starting on the offensive side. There are your maps for tonight. We get to see some exciting things.
And how do you feel about GCU starting off on offense, seeing how they've played in the past?
Yeah, I like GCU's attacking strategies. I think that it's going to give them the opportunity to be flexible around the Wave Riders. Starting off on defense or on Ascent, GCU will be on the defense. And also, we have a little bit of insider knowledge that they were practicing Ascent during their warm up scrim. So they should be fresh in their minds, I assume, hopefully. So that should be a solid start here for GCU. I imagine with the history between these two teams, they've probably played plenty of Ascent in the past. So there will be some nice counter strategy between the two overall.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think they did do the Ascent map before, so they were probably like, let's go and practice this one just in case. And I mean, obviously it worked out for them if that's what they're going to be playing first.
And well, I guess we could talk a little bit about while we wait for the teams to get to lobby, we could talk a little bit about some of the other things we've had so far this year, as it is the final broadcast. League of Legends has been streamed throughout the entirety of this first semester. They've been doing well. I'm not personally too affiliated with them, so I don't know exactly how things have gone. But I hope that at least some of you have been following the League of Legends broadcast. But also Valorant, we've been having plenty of that. Purple Rain, we just wrapped up those broadcasts. Congrats to the Carleton team for closing things out. A flawless season, so make sure if you want to get involved in more Purple Rain, I'm sure we'll be running another tournament in the next semester, maybe in the summer, or in the spring rather, next year. Be sure to make sure that you sign up all of your women's teams for that league. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I think Carleton needs some more competition. So if you think you have a chance to win some of that prize pool money, definitely take a look at that.
Yeah, we run it again. They're the ones to knock out of the seat, right? Because they're the champions. So
and flawless. I don't think they dropped a map all season.
That's insane.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Considering how many games they played, matches overall, and the competitiveness of the teams throughout all of the matches. I believe the other team that they played was University of San Diego, California. So, with that being said, we've had a lot here that we've been able to bring to you all on the GCU Esports channel. We have a lot of exciting stuff also in plan for the next semester as well. So, hopefully, some fun things to go through overall as we conclude things out.
Yeah.
But back onto a bigger topic. Joseph, tonight, what's your prediction for this match? How do you think things will pan out, knowing the history between these two teams? You've obviously casted them before, so you kind of have a better idea of really what might pan out.
Obviously, I always root for our boys, but I think we need to take into consideration that we don't always start off the absolute strongest when we start on defense. Like, we do have to realize that we usually start better when we do attack. But if they've been practicing this, if they've been realizing that their last game would be against Hawaii, that they're going to practice and practice and practice the maps that these two have gone on before. So that's going to look like them practicing defense on it, what that looks like, and getting better at that. Because before they've struggled on defense and then they start bringing it back up, but like just a little too late. So I think if they're able to start out strong and start at that part where they got it back up and get even stronger, I think they'll do really well because they've been practicing even more than last semester. So last semester they did really well and we saw them perform at a high level, and then this semester they've been performing at a higher level and they just haven't found their ceiling yet. And I think that's just really shown through, especially the way we beat UCSC. It's really shown they don't quite know their limits yet. They're getting better and better and better. So I think that we're going to go through with it. There will be at least one map that's really close, if not lost. But I think we're going to win.
So do you think 2-0 or 2-1 in favor of the Lopes? Because it seems like you're rooting for the home crowd. So, and I think we all are here, at least at the GCU Esports channel. That is where we go to school and where we are educated. So I'd like to say that we have a little bit of a root and support for the guys.
You know, I think we're gonna go 2-0 because I think I'm not gonna put the words in their mouths, but I think they're a little salty that they didn't get to play last week. So I think they're really itching to play today.
Well, especially against your friends. I mean, when you're friends with the opposing team, certainly myself, I enjoy rubbing it in months down the line just to make sure they really know who owns them when it comes to competition. Although you may have fun with them in rated and ranked, sometimes it's just fun to really burn in the edge there.
Just like, hey, you remember that one time where you got mopped?
I still do that with teams that I beat 2 years ago or that beat me 2 years ago. We will still talk all about it. But I believe we're ready to hop in, finally, to map number 1, Ascent. GCU on the defense, the Wave Riders on attack. And here we are on Ascent, starting to get our agents locked in for the map. GCU electing to go with a variety of agents, but still the Killjoy very common on both sides, especially because of how easy it is to go through here on the B site.
And both sides seeming to choose Jets, Sovas, and Omens. They got that duplicate. The only change-up seems to be the KO on Hawaii, and then we have the breach.
Yeah, so not quite a mirrored comp between both rosters, but you do typically see this out of GCU. They love bringing the breach, and I think it's one of those agents that really can shine in moments, but you have to make sure that you're utilizing that stun utility properly. And the Molly as well can be very useful, but again, it just comes down to being able to work together in pairs overall, working together in general. I'm sure that you're going to see Nader trying to control the middle of the map, especially on the Jet, more than likely going to be planning to op some this game, and I know that you're a huge fan, Joseph, of Nader on the op, so I'm sure you're more than thrilled to see some of the nice shots that hopefully will end up hitting.
Oh yeah, as I've said before, he's no longer Nader when he pulls out the op. He's Oppenheimer at that point. He's just going insane. Was it plus the Sheriff combo? Like, the op plus the Sheriff is his insane combo that just works for him. And I mean, it doesn't seem to work for anybody else when they try to use it against him. There was a whole game where they had like a duplicate, a mirrored chamber. So there was 2 chambers, and they were opping against each other, and the Nader just kept coming out on top over and over again.
Well, and it appears as though I believe Blade Burst Boss is actually now named Mike, because when I was looking on the system earlier, I was able to see, or on the Google Sheet earlier, I was able to see that I believe they were named Mike. But here's GCU on the defense in the pistol round, somewhere that they've been very dominant, especially against their opponent of the Banana Slugs. But here's the opener. It's Nader, actually. Great teamwork inside of Garden as they're able to find a couple picks, but it's Wave Riders with a response as they make their way through. Watanabe, though, able to even things out. Volt with an aggressive swing, but loses their own life, and it looks all Wave Riders from here as Boss, Eli, the last player remaining alive, has to try to clutch out this 1 versus 3.
Oh. Okay, well, Boss not able to take it there, but obviously he had the huge disadvantage of 3-1. Not a great start, but it's just a pistol round, right? We got none to sweat.
Yeah, there's nothing to be too concerned about, but now as the Wave Riders enter the bonus, this is kind of where you expect them to get the lead. But it would be a nice round for GCU to collect back if they do take the win, because then that would allow them not only to take the weaponry out of the Wave Rider hands, but also to be able to upgrade their own 2 Vandals, 2 Phantoms, and be on better eco for the first half of this match.
Yeah.
Well, here now, rather quiet action, as it appears as though the Wave Riders are attempting to push onto the B site. But again, you've got a lot of GCU focus. There's actually no one positioned on the A site. They have completely read in to the Wave Rider plant attempt, or at least play so far, grouping up very nicely here on the eco round, ready to go for those body shots, trying to take the weaponry out of the Wave Rider hands.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be a full push on B right now. Here they are. That Jet getting in there into that little alcove.
Here's where the explosion comes in.
The shorty.
Volt is placed very nice and close with the shorty, but it's a couple trades come through. GCU still in this one, but they've got to fight back. Watanabe positioned in boat, able to find one is Boss, but still the Wave Riders remain on top. Both players, though, at just 1 or 2 bullets to take them down. The Omen could fall. Boss with the right click could clutch up. This is Boss in his attempt to try to clutch out for GCU. The last player of Cold positioned inside a boathouse, but with the better weaponry, able to find the shot through the box. And it's a round win for the Wave Riders.
Man, what a way to go. Wall bang from a Bulldog. That was really good, though. I thought he had that comeback.
Yeah, rather close round there for Grand Canyon, but still the Wave Riders, just with the better weaponry, able to close things out. But I'll tell you what, it was a nice, valiant fight. And now that GCU are in the bonus, they have the opportunity to take this one with Phantoms, with Vandals, heavy armor, and all, while the Wave Riders lost a lot of weapons in that round, so they're going to be much less competitive this time.
That was by no means a terrible round, especially considering what the weaponry matchup was, and they were down to 1-on-1. I mean, that was fantastic play.
And the GCU Lopes have been good at finding the opening pick so far in both rounds, but just have not been able to close things out with some of the trades. This time around, it's the Wave Riders trying to force their way through tree. Watanabe trying to stall this attempt, but it's a quick blade as the knives come out from the Jet. Taro losing their life. Watanabe trying to help defend, but still with the Wave Riders on this eco, they've got the early control of the A site.
See Watanabe with this breach here. I haven't seen from memory, I don't remember him playing breach a lot, so this is interesting to see him do it. Shooting there down in hell, but not finding any contact.
And GCU just struggling to try to burst through here as the Wave Riders are just cleaning up the guys. There's only one player remaining alive. It's Watanabe, who was originally tasked with trying to stop this aggressive attack being brought by the Wave Riders, but GCU losing 3 straight rounds and now won't have the money to be able to buy this time.
Yeah, unfortunate. It was good flawless for Hawaii. Did a good job there. The Wave Riders doing an excellent job. It's just unfortunate, especially getting stuck up there in heaven like that. It's not a position they like being in. I think in past matches, we've seen them struggle to get back down there and re-engage.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more stall game from GCU, or at least a better attempt of a retake. It seemed rather slow and a little passive for the way that the Lopes typically play. Like you said, though, they do start typically a little slow on defense, and they try to pick things up. This time around, though, they're trying to force their way all the way through A main, and they were able to find a couple, but no, it's actually the Wave Riders. Although they take some damage, no one falls, and now it's up to Taro, who's inside of his own smoke. Able to find 2, though, which is a very nice job for GCU. Watanabe not able to close things out as the Lopes go down 4-0.
Was that an Ares I saw in the matchup?
It was an Ares being brought out by the Wave Riders, and unfortunate that GCU tempted to push into an LMG, because that is no fun by any means.
I gotta say, Wave Riders making an excellent pay, putting that Jet up there. It didn't seem like anybody even attempted to look up to see to get a shot there. She climbed the wall there and was just positioned perfectly on top, jumped down behind him. Oh, it's time for the Nader op. I see it. Let's go.
Yeah, I had to point that one out to Joseph. I saw it highlighted and selected for Nader, so maybe some better light
here
let's go, for Grand Canyon. But an A take seems to be the play here for the Wave Riders. You also have Boss positioned on the A site. It's not typical on Ascent that you see the Killjoy selected for here, but instead it's what the Lopes decide to do. It's a rapid push, though, into the A site as the Killjoy ultimate comes through a lockdown, but Taro able to find the opener. Nader with the op shot finds a second. This is finally the control that GCU has been so desperate for, as Boss is able to fight through. Taro finds another. Volt does fall, but Watanabe with the refrag as the Lopes close out their first round.
That's what we're talking about, baby. This is where we get warmed up and start going. Oh, man.
And especially such a nice job with the lockdown coming in from the Killjoy. The Lopes simply brute force their way through and fight over the lockdown. An incredible job just to fight their way on through, get the kills. No refrags or trades to come through from the Wave Riders. Incredible team play overall from the Lopes in that round.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, you can see as Taro pushed there, you can see the other kills going up. Everyone performing their part perfectly in that instance. Granted, they lost one person, but that's nothing compared to wiping the whole team.
I like this play here from Nader. Might have the read on to the Sova. Actually tries to bait himself out. It's an interesting play, but now spotted by that Raycon Bolt, has to fall away. It's cold with the opener on the op as well, so both sides bringing the op this time around, but GCU lose an early pick.
Yep. It looks like the Wave Riders are going to rotate to A now. They're op picking off the Sova. That's unfortunate. But right here, it looks like Nader is just going to keep the mid.
And here is where the A take comes. GCU has fully rotated off of the A site, but Wave Riders are not quite aware that that is the case. The smoke to block off the triangle as Mike is able to find a second pick on a Nader. There goes the op down for the Lopes as the Killjoy has a nice read onto mid. Taro able to bring down that mid control, so now effectively that has been established in favor of the Lopes, but yet again, down a man advantage. They're going to have to crack through A here.
It looks like Boss and Taro are looking to sandwich. Boss coming up from heaven, Taro coming in from that long ray. I don't know how they're going to pull it off unless they get Watanabe in there from the side.
Yeah, it just appears that GCU are a little less confident in their ability to find their way into the site. Tero's going to look for a couple exit frags as the rest of the GCU Lopes just go to save the weapons. Watanabe has recovered the op, so at least it will still be in possession of Nader. And other than that, it looks like GCU just were not confident with the utility that they had to try to go for this round win. It's a smart decision, nonetheless, to go for the save, try to maybe get an exit frag or two out of the Wave Riders, but still GCU losing that one ultimately.
Yeah. I always find it really funny when Nader goes down, they're like, save the op, save the op, save the op. I mean, it's a big price point, but also it's such a, I mean, not to be cliche, but a huge weapon for them in their arsenal. It's just, it does so much when Nader starts getting rolling with it, and I think they recognize that, and that's awesome. But great job on Taro getting those frags, putting in that damage anyways. Even realizing that he should probably get going, but he was like, I'm going to take them out if I can. And when he saw he was forced to engage, he's like, all right, cool, I'm going to take them out.
Ooh, and a close early op shot from Nader, but just not quite able to land the bullet of death needed. A good job, though, by Grand Canyon to maintain this B control, as it seems like the Wave Riders are trying to avoid that A site this time around, working on B, but their pushes have been a little slow. They try to let the utility get soaked away and then eventually explode onto the site.
They're kind of spread out right now. It looks like one's lingering in their spawn still. This hasn't even picked up the spike. Is going to. And it looks like we got a lurk near A from the Sova. It looks like he's putting out his little drone there, checking it out, seeing if they're going to be able to rotate that way if needed.
And gathering that extra information could just be a little bit of a bait play here from the Wave Riders, but Nader is primed and ready with the op. It's going to be an op duel between Cold and Nader. Who's going to land the shot first? Where's the swing going to come through for the Wave Riders?
There
it's Nader who's better in that engagement, able to take the op out of Cold's hands, and now going to force the Wave Riders to go for the execute. Nader will walk on through, finds a second shot. Very good job by GCU as they continue to clean up house on the Wave Riders, but Mike has something to say about it. It would find a couple bodies. Nader finds his third on the round. A 1v2 has to be completed by the Killjoy of the Wave Riders. Nader gets away, has to find 4 on the round. If he wants to clutch, he's able to do so. Closing things out is Nader as an incredible up play that round. Joseph is excited. I'm excited. GCU taking their second round.
That's what I'm talking about. When he gets rolling, he gets steam rolling. You better get out of the way. 4 awesome shots right there coming in clutch, and then cinching the 1v1 there. After he got out of the way, boss went down, he comes back out, boom, instant. That was awesome. You could not ask for a better play there. That was fantastic.
And using the operator to just the advantage of Grand Canyon. Very nice. After a little bit of a slow start, not quite able to find the frags, but hopefully that's a momentum gainer for Grand Canyon. Nader finds one through the smoke. There goes Mike. So the early pick again for Grand Canyon as they begin to grab a little bit of momentum. Nader, although it's a little cold in our room that we're broadcasting from, getting a little heated up as Taro with the judge play swings out, able to find one on the Ghost. Again, GCU maintain the advantage, forcing the ultimates to be used. Volt is able to take down the Killjoy, or the Omen, but not quite able to finish him off. Boss, though, through the smoke, will eventually close out the kill onto the KO. A shock dart kill from Frog as they've found 3, and now pop the ultimate into CT. This is rough as the Lopes have to avoid. Watanabe falls. It's going to be down to Nader, who has the operator, has the knives in hand, but has to find his opponents. He'll take the swing out, trying to find the jet, but does not know exactly where they are.
Shot.
A great job with the knives to be able to secure that pick, and now has to hunt for Frog. The last player would have to ace here for the Wave Riders. Nader with the op, able to clutch it out yet again.
Nader on
7
fire.
kills in 2 rounds for Nader.
Oh my gosh, now I understand why it's called the operator, because he's surgical with it. Nader just going insane here. Look at this hit. Boom. Pops up behind the other jets like, this is how you use your ultimate. Then he says, nope, not going to go that way. I'm not confident with that. I'm going to back up. I'm going to pop out my operator. Bam, takes the shot. Knock him dead.
Nader showing up in a big way for the Lopes after that slow start. Clearly warmed up and starting to show off why he is so good with the operator. Also, GCU have 4 ultimates in play ready to be utilized. While the Wave Riders, well, they've only got 1. They utilized 2 that round to try to secure the W, and when they're not able to do so, it is a very nice play for GCU. Nader feeling rather confident, and playing very deep inside of the boathouse, trying to take these aggressive swings. But the Omen chooses better from the Wave Riders and decides to back on out, as now the play through tree in A main seems to be an attempt here from the Wave Riders.
Yep. See if we can get to Watanabe as breach. Ooh, nice Volt. Looks like he's up there in heaven right now for Watanabe. He's going to be holding that from there. Ooh, nice. Gets a shot on Ghost.
And a nice couple picks here for Grand Canyon as they're able to just take down a couple of the bodies and slowly pick away at some of the Wave Riders. But Mike thinks better of it. Cold as well as an illicit swing from Boss ends up losing the advantage for the Lopes. But Nader on the op has been the man of the hour. The spike begins to get planted by the Wave Riders and they will complete. So a little bit of extra money in the pocket, but can GCU retake? Volt has been a little quiet in this match, but Nader has the hot hand. Still waiting to swing as Nader's able to find one through the floor, but Encrypto with the refrag. So it'll be Volt in the 1 versus 1. Has the ultimate should he choose to pull it out, but no recon dart to find that information. Waiting for Impatience to come of Encrypto is Volt, and he's able to land the headshot. Will get on the defuse. GCU finding their 3rd straight round.
Wonderful job there. Wave Rider's actually doing a really good job. That Mike staying there in that corner and just picking them off as we were rounding corners, doing an excellent job. But then GCU bringing it back by getting that full team rotate back to that spot, realizing they got to come in hot and save each other. Doing a really great job. And then this headshot just to finish it off.
Man, these rounds are scrappy. They're bloody, back and forth between both rosters, but GCU have the hot hand. It seems like whoever's able to get the ball rolling early end up finding the advantage and all the way through. And although GCU did not have the best defense off of the bat, they're able to come back and finally win a retake, which is something I feel like they've struggled on early in this match, is really making those retakes work.
Yeah. I mean, Nader doing a great job being the hot hand here, as we've said, but also showing he can get up close with the op and hit those shots and then switch when he needs to, just pick up somebody else's gun that they've dropped and do what he needs to do. He doesn't get flashy with it when he doesn't need to.
I'd like to see these ults be popped here by Grand Canyon, but Taro nice and close with the Judge inside of mid, but Cold with the right click of the knives, able to take down Taro. Boss with a refrag, able to find the Sova, so there's no more recon and information that could be elicited from the Wave Riders, at least on the Sova end, but you still do have the KO. That double information game being played allows you just a little bit extra information overall.
It looks like that Omen's running to B right now, but the rest of the team's in mid looking like they're going to push A. This is interesting. It looks like they're just waiting for the Omen to get there.
And Nader with the op has been so hot in this match, continues to find more bodies as he picks apart the Wave Riders who have centered their eyes inside of the middle of the map. They work their way through this middle site, but Watanabe has something to say about it. Able to take the swing, waits for Cold to go for it, and will throw out a flash. Now it's the flood through market that comes quickly here from the Wave Riders. The breach ult to come through, completely denying and stunning every player on the Wave Riders. Boss landing a nice headshot, has to wait for this player to come around the corner. Ghost will be better, takes the gun out of Boss, but GCU have a 3 versus 1. Ghost just trying to stick this plant, is able to do so, but GCU close things out, cutting down the lead, bringing things even, 5 apiece.
What an excellent play. I mean, each time there's only been an instance where GCU wins this and then loses too many people. Right here, just only losing 2. They're able to take out the entire team and play really well. There wasn't I don't think there was many errors at all, if any. You know, they played really well, but I think Ghost right there, like you just said, was just better in that swing.
Again, GCU just looking more dominant in this match as the rounds continue to grow. Seems like they've got those early shakes loosened up, and they've taken 4 straight rounds. After Hawaii started this match off 4-0, GCU finally starting to hit their stride and work their way back into the lead, especially as they go in towards that offensive half.
Yeah. If you were Hawaii right now, if they won the next 2, would you take that timeout?
Would I take the timeout? Well, no, because that's the half. So you want to be able to use some of that in order to try to elicit exactly how the opponents are playing at the half. This time around, though, we'll have to see when those timeouts are pushed out. Wave Rider is very aggressive here towards the middle of the map. A dash comes through, a counter dash here from Nader and Taro, able to get the opener. Mike, though, with something to say. He's been real strong in this match, takes down Volt, and here comes the lockdown from the Killjoy. Imagine Eli, or Boss, who is yet to use the lockdown, could use it in response to the push here from the Wave Riders, but still nothing to come of the take yet. It actually seems like an A push as the lockdown was used as a distraction. Boss able to get one with the Nano Swarm as Encrypto falls, and still GCU looking to close this round out.
Yep. I didn't realize there was only 2 left. I got so caught up in the action. But we saw Nader there. He was just a second late on getting that Killjoy. It was awesome. He lined up and then took the shot just a second late. It was interesting. I love being able to see through the walls because you're like, oh no, and you have that anticipation of like, are they going to take the shot or not?
It's very nice on our end as GCU cleans up house inside of the site. Mike just too far away to be able to assist the Wave Riders in the end of the round, and it closes out as another GCU round where they take their first lead this match.
I mean, they're really just flexing. They're flexing their muscles here, really showing that they're warmed up. They're like, all right, look, this is what we're going to do. This is what we've been doing, and we're going to keep doing it. I really like this. They're going to finish out the half strong, and I know they're going to take that momentum into the attackers round, you know?
Yeah, this is the last round of the first half where GCU could close things out with a 7-5 lead on the defense. Although it was a rocky start, it's been all but GCU here in the ending half. A quick take onto the B site seems to be in play for the Wave Riders as they explode in. Cold finds Nader as well as Encrypto, who finds Volt. But Taro has something to say about it. Boss still locked in on the B site, but now all of the GCU members fall. It's a complete wipe for the Wave Riders as they win the last round of the half.
Yep, and all they had to do was lose that KO. Excellent trade-off, just full team wipe versus losing one member. That was really good. I think Boss got stuck in that corner there and realized it. And then he spun around real quick, realizing he was going to have to fight it out.
So a fair split half through this map so far. Before we got into the map, you said that you might expect a little bit of an even game, or at least one map that's going to be close. Do you think this is going to be that close map, and then the other one is kind of a wash, or how do you think things are going to play out as GCU starts their attack?
You know, I think this is going to be the close one, and then the next one, I don't think necessarily a complete wash, but definitely an easier walk in the park. You know, I think because Hawaii had the pick on this one, this is going to be the closest, and if GCU comes on top, I think they have the next map for sure.
Yeah, and the next map would be split, so a larger map where more ground would have to be held by either team. But still here on Ascent, we've managed to find GCU losing the opener yet again in the opening pistol round. Watanabe falls, and as well, a lot of damage done to Nader early on.
He unfortunately got caught from the side from the other jet, which I really love that the 2 jets are the ones that antagonize each other the most. They're just like, no, I'm going to be the better one.
Yeah, the duelists are just outplaying each other, outmatching overall, but still nothing yet to come here of the GCU control. They force their way through mid. A nice headshot for Nader evens things out, but still in the HP disadvantage, one could say that GCU remains in. However, with full middle control, they're able to cut off some of the rotations that could come through from the Wave Riders. It just depends on where GCU decides to set their eyes on for the bomb site.
See, Nader's still really low. He's the only one that's taking damage, but he's obviously the most aggressive one. We see that Sova and that Killjoy working together to go to B right now as they go into attack. See, GCU looking to plant, but they have a Sova and an Omen to contend with there.
And now here is where the attack comes. Boss primed and ready with the Nano Swarm to cut off the CT push. And here is where GCU fights their way through. Frog, though, takes down Nader, who took a lot of damage early on with the Shock Dart. And here's the explosion from GCU. Boss able to get the Nano Swarm down. Force Ghost into a corner. Volt with the refrag, but Mikey is a little bit better. Closes out the last couple kills of the round. The Wave Riders take the second pistol round of this match.
Yeah. Well, that's not the way you wanted it to go, but it's the way it went, and they're going to bounce back from it like they did earlier. It's no sweat off their back, you know? Let's see. Nader doing an excellent job, 14 and 8 for his KD. Taro following up close behind. Boss actually doing a pretty good job. He's a little low. I know he's going to beat himself up over that if he stays there, so I want to see him go up. That way we can celebrate our broadcast member doing well.
Well, I'd really like to see Volt and Watanabe step
Yeah.
things up, especially being a little bit lower on the scoreboard. There's always time to get activated, and sometimes it's that key piece that you need to really become dominant. With Grand Canyon not being incredibly dominant throughout the entire scoreboard or leaderboard of themselves, they definitely have the opportunity to come back in this one. A nice headshot from Nader picks off Ghost. That's a weapon and a member off the hands of the Wave Riders as GCU yet again finding this mid control so easily.
I mean, we might as well just call Nader Deadshot at this point because the way he hits headshots with literally any weapon given in his hand is insane.
Yeah,
Oh, let's see this matchup here. It's going to be the two Jets facing off. It looks like Cold is going to take off and get a better positioning.
Oh, nice stun here to come through. Nader with the entry yet again, just finding all of the shots needed, and now able to pick up the Spectre. GCU with full B-site control. Boss will get the spike down as now it comes through for the retake for the Wave Riders. GCU just have more bodies, more weapons though. However, Encrypto has something to say about it. Nader with the Spectre finds his third on the round. Encrypto at half HP is the last member alive here for the Wave Riders. Will try to brute force their way in, but there's a three-way crossfire. He's able to find Nader, who finally is shut down in the round, but Tara with the refrag of the Classic closes things out for Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's crazy watching Nader just keep taking the damage he is and still getting those kills. I mean, just absolutely eating those bullets from the turret before continuing to do what he does. And then that teamwork right there, you saw Volt and Watanabe take that area near tree, just, you know, working together, popping out. Great work. Unfortunately, I think it was Volt who tried to shoot Cold in the back and was missed, but you know his teammate finished up, and that's exactly what you need to do. You need to work together at all times because even if one fails, the other one comes in, and I think that's excellent work from them.
The refrags and the trades from GCU certainly have been something to gawk at throughout this match so far. Nader, again, so aggressive, so ready to break on through, but Mike finds two with the Sheriff. Nader has something to say about it, though, able to find another body. Boss finds Encrypto as well and begins to get the spike down. Watanabe with the spike plant, and also Boss able to shut bodies out yet again. Great coverage onto the player from Heaven. One more player remains here from the Wave Riders inside of Tree. They'll more than likely try to get an exit frag or two to get a weapon or two out of GCU's hands, but it looks like a GCU round.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy to me that Nader ran in like that. He saw the ops and was like, oh, no way is somebody using an op on me. He took that personally and showed him what's up. He's like, nuh-uh, I used the op. I'm the better Jet. I'm the one who ops here. There we go. Watanabe taking that final one and eliminating Ghost. Ghost will get no frags on the way out.
Very good job by GCU. I love just that prime pure aggression from Nader. Really got the dog in him, one could say, because he is feeling it. Almost 20 kills here through 15 rounds, certainly putting up numbers. A couple more members of GCU beginning to light up as well. Boss finally finding some of those frags, and Sam Watero still doing his thing. Volt Watanabe still nothing to be said, but there's no complaints as GCU maintain a lead.
Oh, yeah. And like we said, Boss, he's getting those numbers up there. Got to be so proud of him, repping our team, you know. But we're interested to see how this plays out. I'm honestly wondering if at what point, if at all, does Hawaii call a timeout? Is it if they run the next, if we run the next two on them or what? And Nader being super aggressive again, just running straight in mid, taking down that wall in the marketplace.
Truthfully taking that duelist role to heart as Nader continues to be primed and ready on the aggression. GCU continue to maintain this mid control, but Nader loses out the fight to Frog. Volt, though, with a trade, able to take down the swinging Mike, who's been finding a lot of frags in this match. Still, though, GCU just looking a little bit hotter on the hand, but with the main top frag down and the biggest playmaker of the night so far, it's going to be a tough one here for Grand Canyon.
Yeah, but I love seeing Volt step up in that area. When Nader goes down, you know, he turns and takes out Mikey there. That's what we've been asking of him. We want to see Volt step up, Watanabe as well. We're looking at Taro here. He's at B. He's looking like he's going to choose to fight the Jet with his buddy Watanabe there.
We could see the main Killjoy setup has been elicited over to the A side for the Wave Riders, so there won't be any Nano Swarms to worry about. And also, Killjoy has passed away in this round. Here is the Flood from Grand Canyon, but Cold with the op, able to find Boss, and now GCU fight their way through. They're trying to get this op out of Cold's cold hands, but they are finding all of the kills. Cold finds 3 on the round. Volt has to clutch up, does finally take down the Opera, but on just 6 health. who will have to clutch. It's going to be real difficult to find these last remaining bodies, especially since the Wave Riders know exactly where Volt is, but he'll find the shots to finish out Frog. Not able to do it, though, onto Encrypto. So although Volt did step up that round, it still went in favor of the Wave Riders.
Yeah, Volt stepping up there, we got to love that. Getting a couple extra kills just because, why not? He's got to show them that they're still in this, even though they were losing. But, you know, Cold there getting Stone Cold Killer vibes there. Just it was like, okay, now I'm going to step up my op game now that I just got done dirty like that. Took it a little personally. I kind of like it.
A little bit of a nader play from Cold.
Yep.
Finding a couple huge picks, as both of the duelists have been so dominant in this game. It feels like it's just Jet versus Jet, and whichever Jet is a little bit better ends up winning out the round. Sometimes it's nader, sometimes it's Cold. We'll have to see how things pan out here. I like the aggressive play, pulling out the knives here for nader, who's been primed and ready, hitting a lot of his shots. Watanabe with a great shot takes down the op. Nader will be able to retrieve that weapon and does so beautifully.
Nader just casually walking up to the op and is like, yeah, I'll take that, thank you. I'll be better with it anyways. Oh, taking some damage there from behind. Turned his back and just left it wide open. Not very much like him.
Yeah, well, a little bit of chip damage doesn't mean too much, however, as GCU are primed and ready, trying to fight their way through the A site, but they've got to be careful. There's a heavy Killjoy presence here in the A site, or rather inside of Tree. Nader will just brute force their way into the bomb site, trying to take the fight with the Classic, and will do so. It's actually Terra to find a couple bodies, who heats up yet again in another round. A floor bang coming from Frog as they'll take down the hot hand of Nader. Frog able to find another pick, but the refrags and the man advantage goes in favor of Grand Canyon, winning their 9th round.
Jeez, man. That wall bang with the Guardian came out of nowhere. That was unexpected. Taro doing a great job of seeing Nader rush in there a little hot with the Classic and was like, you know what, I need to back up my teammate. Doing an excellent job hitting his shots there. Proud of him. Said we need him to step up just a little bit more because now he's evened out. He's got to be feeling good right now. But like you pointed out earlier, these Jets are just top fragging for their teams right now. They're just kind of carrying their respective team and just absolutely putting on a show for each other.
When Volt has begun to heat up, finding a couple more frags. Same with Watanabe, as the lower end of the GCU scoreboard has begun to make their way back in this fight. Nonetheless, though, both of these teams have just been back and forth. And breach hole comes through. Nader again, so aggressive on the entry. Finds one, knows that there's a second, gets the wall bang, secures the B site. Watanabe begins to get the diffuser down, or the spike down, rather, as now the retake has to come through from the Wave Riders. Volt able to easily raid into the flank. This is a textbook round by Grand Canyon. They're going to find every single member of the Wave Riders, even forcing the knives to expire out of the hand of the Jet, which is Cold, and GCU looked amazing.
Oh,
in
yeah.
that round.
That was like in a movie scene where you see like the special ops go in and just absolutely annihilate the enemy that did not stand a chance. Be interesting what this Jet does. If they do anything at all. No! Flawless victory for GCU on this round, putting them at 10-8, taking the lead by 2.
Really incredible team play overall from the Lopes, as you just saw an incredible usage of not only utility, but again, amazing aggression really coming off of the back of Nader, who just is finding the headshots needed to keep GCU in the man advantage.
Yeah.
And when they're able to do so, Wave Riders not able to get the refrags, especially when they're stunned out, when they're locked out of the site entirely, even Volt with the read onto the flank. It just was a perfect round played out by Grand Canyon.
And Nader's aggression there was rewarded by the fact that Breach had blinded the Omen he ended up taking out. The Cold getting taken out by Taro right away right there. And it looks like we're seeing another run from GCU.
And they're running the table, finding all of the bodies of the Wave Riders. Last remaining player is the KO. The spike begins to get planted, and then a second flawless round in a row for Grand Canyon. A questionable play by Cold to dash out into mid. Overall, all of a sudden, GCU just looked more dominant in this map.
Oh yeah, just 2 flawless back-to-back. There's no questioning. Honestly, I would call a timeout if I got run down like that. 2 back-to-back flawless where you did absolutely nothing to contend with it.
Yeah, it's shocking that the Wave Riders just have yet to utilize that timeout. That could be so crucial for them. And they also have no money. There's no economy for the Wave Riders, so they're going to have to save this round. That'll put GCU on match point more than likely. And with that being said, you're going to have to play the game out flawlessly if you're the Wave Riders.
Yeah, they all have their ults right now, but I think if they are able to pull something out here, a small miracle, and then then they take a timeout and, really strategize how they're going to use those ults to the best effect, plus their weapons.
But Nader, again, just so primed and ready, feeding off of the aggression here from the Wave Riders, continuing to hit the headshots needed to open up these rounds. I expect to see even more aggression, but GCU rather tame, trying to figure out exactly how this Wave Rider defense is going, knowing that they're on a buy round, trying to spread them out, and they're doing an excellent job.
It seems like Watanabe can sense that in Crypto's there, just that somebody's watching that corner there.
And here comes the rotate from the Lopes as they find their way in to come support their teammates. Nader with an aggressive push. Gets flashed, though, but it's Watanabe to find the shot. Frog does take down Nader, but still, sight control in arms, rather, for GCU. Watanabe able to gain control of Hell, but Ghost takes down Boss. And now here's the ultimate from the Sova. Hunter's Fury popping out, but a Killjoy in response from the defenders as well. Watanabe able to find the headshots. Could he find a third? No, not quite. Ghost on 1 HP. Taro as well with the teleport all the way over to the B side. It'll be Omen versus Omen. Equal utility, but better weaponry in the hands of Taro. The Taro teleport comes here from the Wave Riders Omen, as now it comes down to this 1 versus 1. Where are they coming from?
As you pointed out, the 1v1, but the better weaponry, which is crazy because Ghost got 3 kills with the Sheriff against better equipped opponents. Ooh, let's see Ghost turning here. I wonder. Yeah, he knew where he was. Nice.
Ghost with a very nice read into Taro, and that's a big save round to win on for the Wave Riders. It doesn't put GCU on the match point, and now puts them with a little bit of extra money in the pocket. Although they weren't able to secure enough weaponry or a ton of weaponry, still, though, winning out that round keeps their opponents of GCU off of that match point.
It really says a lot about our team because it took all but 1 of those ultimates to actually pull that off.
Well, here's the timeout from the Wave Riders, as they are rather an interesting time to use it. I think it's the smart time, though, as you were saying, to go to a timeout, pause things out, talk things over. Hey, we just won a big round that could shift the momentum, push this one into overtime potentially if the Lopes are able to gain another round. How are they going to be able to prevent that? Because GCU has been so dominant in the team play, utilizing their abilities, their ultimates in general have just been a little bit better. A couple expired, though, for the Wave Riders in that round. Notably, the Hunter's Fury from the Sova won't be in effect more than likely for the rest of the half. Same with the Omen teleport.
Yeah, but I don't know what Wave Riders would have to do super different, except like they already stopped making the small mistakes, like Cole jumping out into mid the way that she did. It's not really doing well for her. What else are they gonna have to do to switch it up? So because it's such a momentum shift that they need to make right now. They're down by 2. Possibly gonna lose the next one with the way the momentum's been rolling, because they just barely pulled that off, and they had all the advantage with the ultimates.
Well, they have the advantage with the ultimates, but they didn't have the weaponry. And although it really just came off of a piggyback play of Ghost to win that round out with the Sheriff, hitting some nice shots, GCU not quite able to find those trades. This is a fast push, though. Check this out. GCU making their way through tree. Nice teamwork to be able to avoid the Molly from the KO. Cole does find a pick, but GCU look better. They take the op out of Cole's hands and now have full A-site control. It'll be, again, a retake that has to come through from the Wave Riders. Ghost takes down Taro, so it won't be an Omen 1v1 in the end, but Spike yet to be planted by GCU.
They're planting right now, and they get it in. Ooh, nice. Nader hitting that headshot on Mikey there in heaven. And finishing out the round with 3 left. You have Sova and Jet, both with their ultimates now. Definitely looking like they got this.
And a nice job by GCU to close that round out. And yet again, it'll be a save round here that the Wave Riders have to win out because they spent all their money in that last round trying to bring back that lead. GCU being on match point, it's almost an even more dangerous situation this time around.
Yeah, they got to go perfect just to win the next 3 out in totality. They just have to do it and win hard. I don't know how else to put this. They have to be dominant, and they haven't been so far.
this might be a tough one here for the Wave Riders. Nader will pull out the knives, trying to make an aggressive push, but look at how close and aggressive Frog is. This is where the Hunter's Fury comes through for GCU. They're looking to close out this one as Taro finds the opener. Another kill here for Nader as he just continues to thrash apart the Wave Rider defenders, but Encrypto finds a headshot with the Sheriff, shutting down Nader's reign.
I mean, absolutely showing the teamwork there. They were able to flash so hard that Nader got all the way behind enemy lines, was able to take somebody out before they even realized where he was.
But here's where the response comes from the Wave Riders. Cold finds a headshot. Volt able to get one. Mikey, though, has something to say about it. Volt with the right click of the Classic will whip out the Stinger, trying to clutch things out. It's a 1 versus 1. Spike has not yet been planted. A nice recon dart, but Mike is better. Wins out the round. A huge play by Mike to keep the Wave Riders in it and not allowing GCU to keep themselves out of this map.
Yeah, Volt unfortunately making the mistake of pulling out the Stinger as he was rounding the corner instead of pulling it out before he did so. It cost him that one, but that was a really close match. It was interesting to see the way the Wave Riders really turned that around.
Yeah, they certainly flipped that one back as now GCU will go ahead and take their timeout. It was a rather rough first or last little round, but here they are getting a nice little bit of time to talk things out, get things under control, and try to close out this map.
Yeah, you know that discussion's got to look something like, hey, let's not get worked up. Let's not worry about this. We got to keep doing what we've been doing. Calm it down. Don't make any mistakes, all right? We just got to do what we've been doing.
Well, remember, the Lopes had the lead, and they looked very solid on the defense and also looked pretty okay on the attacks. We'll have to see how things close out. Yet again, though, the Wave Riders sometimes just coming through, making the plays that are needed. Mikey has been one of those players that have been very good for the Hawaiian side, but still Grand Canyon seemed to be a little bit better in that fragging department overall.
Yeah. I'm interested about this breach ult that's ready, because the last time they used that breach ult, it was highly effective, and GCU was able to play off that so well. I want to see if that comes into play at all from Watanabe.
And that's got to be exactly what is in store here for Grand Canyon. More than likely taking that 60 seconds to talk things out, describe exactly how this round has to go, trying to close this thing out. But check out the Wave Riders. They are primed, nice, close, and ready for the GCU Lopes to make their way on through. Nader has a read that one of his opponents are inside of the smoke, but they've backed away. The Wave Riders positioning 3 on B, 2 on A, but all 5 members of GCU ready to storm on through. The breach all prepared. Here's where the same take just as before comes through. A nice flip around here for Nader as he's able to find Frog, but it's traded out beautifully by Ghost. GCU, though, with the advantage, able to find their way into the site. Terra will walk through the own Nanoswarm, able to get the kill, but Cold with a response. GCU still fighting tooth and nail, now in the advantage, can begin to get that spike down with proper coverage.
There it is. This got the start. You got the enemy Cold there coming up, back and back out as they put up that firefight. The Killjoy looking like they're about to round to the left there.
And I love the lockdown coming out from Boss, going to force these defenders to make a play, whether they go fast or work their way all the way back. Mikey walks deep, able to get a pick onto Volt surprisingly, but has been brought down to just a chip of health points and has been detained. Boss could find this player through the wall, but is not able to do so. Terra with a couple jiggle peeks. Boss finds the last 2, cleans things up for the Lopes as they take map number 1.
Attaboy, Eli. We love to see him finish it off that way. Real proud of him there. Man, what a finish, as that got super close. They ended up needing both the ults. Nader, unfortunately, getting caught early, but he was able to get one before he went out.
Yeah, nice map overall for the Lopes. Although things started out rather rocky, rather slow, it really came off of the piggyback of some of those huge plays from Nader, right? The op is something that we have to talk about because it was so dominant, so effective in that map. I'd like to see some of the other Lopes wake up a little bit, though, going into map number 2, a split.
I mean, there was nothing quite as clutch as what Nader had been doing from any of the other members, but there's just instances like Boss there at the end, getting 2 in a row, because that's what was needed of him, and just performing and stepping up when they're called to. Watanabe had an instance like that, Volt had an instance like that, and really just helping each other out. But I think what's been most consistent is the teamwork it takes when they engage. If they're both taking a corner and they're turning it, they have each other's backs, they have it from multiple angles, and even if they can't put one of them down, the other person will.
Yeah, and I think for the other side of the University of Hawaii, Well, Mikey and Cole definitely need a little bit of assistance from their lower three. GCU was able to provide it with certain plays stepping up, but I'd really like to see those bottom three players from the Wave Rider step up if Hawaii want to remain in that match. We're going to go to a break, though, just for a couple minutes, go to the bathroom, wrap things up. We'll come back with Map 2 Split in a few minutes. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the GCU Esports broadcast, powered by Rockstar and sponsored by Canes. Of course, we've got to shout out those wonderful sponsors that really help us complete everything here at Grand Canyon. My name is Mason. Joining alongside me again is Joseph. We're here for map number 2 of Split of GCU versus the WUH Wave Riders. Well, here we are on Split. Agents being selected by both teams. GCU seemingly rather ready. I like the Watanabe on the raise pick. I also like Boss playing the Cypher. More than likely going to be lurking a heavy amount. Split just recently came back into the competitive pool, and this is a map I like. You see a lot of stage play, especially that wall onto the A site, but also there are some nice play, or the wall into the B site rather, and there's also some nice walls that you can have for the A site as well.
Yeah. I really like seeing Volt play Sage, probably the strongest one on the team, the one you see the most often. Taro taking Omen again, probably again because he's the strongest, but I haven't seen Boss play Cypher before, so I'm interested to see how he plays him. And then we, of course, got Nader back at Jet, absolutely popping off last time, so we'll see how that translates to this bigger, larger map that has more straightaways than the last one.
I think deservingly so Nader earned the right to play Jet on whatever map he wants, especially after that last map. But nonetheless, we'll have to see how everything works out. I, again, love Boss being on the Cypher. I like the ability for GCU to watch their flank. It's something that the Wave Riders went for a couple times there on Ascent. So we'll have to see exactly how that transitions here going into Split. But nonetheless, GCU on the attack, the Wave Riders on the defense, GCU ending off a hot attacking half.
They got a breach on the Wave Riders and Killjoy. How do you think that's going to translate, those two different picks from GCU?
On a nice early opener here for Nader. Again, taking a little bit of HP damage, but this time you have the luxury of the Sage, bringing Nader back to full HP. GCU at full strength here for this middle attack.
All right, Boss backing up there is deciding, I don't like this engagement. I'm going to take my time because I don't need to rush things. Real smart. And try and force him into the trip, obviously, for info.
I like the lurk, just waiting yet again, but here's the aggressive push through mid. Watanabe able to take down Frog, and now the breach, although they weren't able to help for the Wave Riders, still holding back deep into the B side. GC will rotate through Ropes, trying to make their way up, and it's an, again, aggressive push as they make their way inside, and here is where the engagements come through. Nader is a little bit better than Mike there in the spot. A nice wall there from Volt to stop the Wave Riders from making their way in through a deep push through CT now is in store here for the Wave Riders as they continue to try to fight back.
Nice. Flawless round for GCU. You love to see it. They're definitely carrying over that momentum from the first map. Just running through, being aggressive. They didn't lose anybody there at all. They pushed hard. And again, we see that teamwork. If one of them goes in hard, the others swing immediately to be there.
And that's the first pistol round that the Lopes have taken over, so a nice advantage or change, I guess, in between the maps, where the Lopes were not able to secure any of the pistol rounds in the first map. This time around, able to start things off, which is always a nice thing to see.
Yeah, a nice change of pace there. Really well done. Like I said, I mentioned briefly that Boss just, pulled back, wasn't going to get suckered out into that fight that he didn't want, and then waited for his team to come in and help him out there.
Everyone from GCU seemed to be just playing very smart. Volt able to be better on the Sage duel that comes through. And again, GCU forcing their way. Nader will take a little bit of damage as he tries to brute force his way into the B site. But he's got some assistance from GCU. But Encrypto from the back takes down Nader. Taro will bring down Ghost, and GCU has made their way in from heaven. And now they completely swarm out the Wave Riders, who have been forced out entirely. Boss able to kill the player on the lurk inside of heaven. And GCU will set up for the post plant.
Yep. I really love that they have now two aggressive agents on their team now, because Raze can jump in there just as quick as Jet can, and it's going to be awesome because they already play aggressively. Now these agents are built and designed to play just as aggressively. It's going to be a great matchup there, and it's going to be interesting to see how Wave Riders deal with that, because now they are built to be more aggressive than they were before. How do you deal with something you couldn't deal with in the first place on a lower level?
These have been aggressive initial rounds for GCU, but dominant at that. They've lost very few to no bodies in general, only Nader really being one of those casualties in both of the rounds. But other than that, GCU has been dominant in just securing the kills and with no refrag to come out here from the Wave Riders.
That absolute spray down the middle with nobody being home. It's kind of funny, but I mean, they have to do it. It looks like they're going to be, the defenders are expecting an A push, and it looks like GCU is going to go there.
You got to take out the wall and some of the utility. A little battle here inside of the garage from the Omen, but now we flip over to the A site where GCU slowly walk their way out, trying to find a pathway to breach on through. They're looking to maybe make their way up ramp or just a potential direct execute, but they're still waiting things out, trying to tempt the Wave Riders into an aggressive push.
I mean, if they were able to make a good push, they have all of them condensed right there, but so far, none of their players have shown that they could.
And here's where the aggressive swing comes through inside of ramp, trying to take out tower. GCU maintains full control, but have yet to deal with some of the existing players here from the Wave Riders. Nader is going to try to get aggressive while being actively healed, but Frog finds the opener here for Hawaii. Now Cold as well with the Judge in hand, finds a couple. Mike able to clean one out, but Taro and Boss are a little bit better in some of their engagements. Frog finds their second on the round as Boss now has to clutch. Spectre in hand, enough HP to be able to get things done, but still lots of utility on the hands of the Sage and the Omen. Frog able to find their third on the round, taking down Boss and winning the Wave Riders' first round here of their defense.
Yeah, we saw those trade-offs getting heated right there, but ultimately it was the teamwork from Taro and Boss that helped save each other there on that one. Boss there not being able to finish off in that 2v1. Unfortunate, but I mean, good job for the Wave Riders there to finish out the way they did.
They did a nice job of being able to get a couple of those picks, but overall GCU were a little too busy eating up the canes, so they took a little break.
That's what it was. Yeah, they were smacking their lips and taking the sauce off their fingers there.
Exactly. That's why you didn't see them land as many of the train shots. But also, again, they were at a little bit of a disadvantage with the weaponry in that round as well. This time around, though, GCU have weapons, and they'll easily be able to buy. We're able to take a couple guns as well out of the Wave Rider hands, so they'll be off eco overall. Here is where GCU begin to make their flood through the middle of the map, trying to find one of these bodies from the Wave Riders and get that early pick.
Oh, man. It looks like we got a Judge from Cold right there in the corner. Or maybe a Stinger. I can't really tell from the outline, going to be honest with you. But most people would like to take the Judge there up close.
An aggressive play coming out of the Wave Riders, and Crypto able to get their second pick of the round, this time with the Molly. And nice work of the team to be able to force the players from Grand Canyon out of their comfortable positions inside of the middle of the map here. Still Volt and Boss hanging out inside of the middle of the map, waiting to see if any of their Wave Rider opponents will end up peeking. And still you have the Omen of Taro lurking deep inside of the A site. An aggressive swing of the Judge will bring down Boss to 1 HP, who eventually is finished off by their teammate of Ghost. Volt, though, able to find the refrag and the trades out, so still a winnable round here for Grand Canyon as well. Volt able to heal himself back up some of the HP he lost in that early engagement. And Taro with an aggressive play, if they win their one, could potentially find an easy plant here inside of the B site, but falls. Volt now has to clutch, will try to do so by utilizing that wall to get over to the spike, but shot in the back from Heaven, shut down as the Wave Riders even things out.
It's an unfortunate play, but it's also encouraging to see the Wave Riders kind of see to pick up steam, make this a more interesting match. They're not out of it. They're definitely putting up a fight now as they get their feet under them, and they're really understanding how to deal with GCU on this map.
Very similar starts between both teams, between each map. A little bit different, though, as the Wave Riders were able to quickly recover after a 2-0 deficit, whereas Grand Canyon had started off down 4 and then found their way back up even at 5 apiece.
Yeah, looking here, Frog is going to be the top frag for their team, and Volt's going to be the top here. Probably because of the last match. Is the reason, or last round, sorry, is the reason he's got that top spot right there.
Oh, I love
Nader
this
being
play
aggressive.
from Nader. Getting real aggressive inside of the face of the opponents, and it's Volden Watanabe to find a pick each with a Frenzy and the Stinger. So GCU looking solid, looking strong, primed and ready here in this round. Begin to get the diffuser down, or the spike down rather, as it gets planted inside of the B site. GCU at a full strength advantage, as well as some of the weaponry of the Wave Riders have been recovered in favor of Grand Canyon. An aggressive swing from Cold is able to find one, but Taro has a judge response and judges the opponents as he takes down Crypto as well. Only one player remains for the Wave Riders. That is Mike, who will choose to run for the heavens and try to save that weapon.
Mikey said, I'm going to live another day and y'all can't make me. That was an excellent play there. I really, Mikey taking out Taro, but Boss taking Mikey out there, finishing off the round. I really thought we were going to see Nader catch that body because he saw it and it looked like he wanted to just spray, but then gets taken out by the jump down and the judge, and then obviously Taro having his back there with the judge.
Taro, an absolute rock star in that round, is able to find a couple picks with the judge, as you see what I do there. And
yep.
Now I got to really try to find a way to say that they're raising the canes of this match.
Well, I mean, and Nate's already showed he's got that dog in him, so I mean, he's just showing that off for
you know what? When someone hits a 4K, I'll say they're getting the four finger box combo.
Oh yeah.
That's what we're gonna call that from now on. That is going to be precedent.
We got to do that from now on.
The rest of the match.
So Nader had one of those earlier with that four kill streak.
Nader had a nice 4-finger combo earlier on, but Mikey loses out their fight to Boss. A dominant round there, at least a dominant entry pick for GCU, as they've already gotten the spike down, as we're fathoming about what we're going to call 4Ks, 3Ks, and 2Ks. Here's the Lopes finding an aggressive entry. Cold trying to make a play work with the shorty. Is able to do so. Will secure a weapon out of the GCU hands, and now able to use that towards the retake that could come through from the Wave Riders, as they will go aggressive. But Volt and Nader clean up. The blast from Ray is able to find a couple. Frog finds one as well. But GCU overall just a little bit better with the man advantage that round. Close things out 4 apiece.
Yep. It looks like they shut down that Killjoy before that ult ever even could be thought about being used. But now there's 3 ults in total on Wave Riders and 2 for Grand Canyon. Nader having his ult ready. We love seeing him use that Blade Storm. It's awesome. Also, both Sages too, so we could see some players get down and they get back up and get a longer fight drawn out. You know.
Well, we'd like to see the Sage come through. I was going to say that, Mr. Producer. You just didn't give me a chance to really speak my mind about how I feel about the Caniac combo. But still, here's GCU trying to make an aggressive entry yet again through the A site. All 5 bodies stacked, no lurk this time around.
Oh, Watanabe getting taken out early there. Interesting. Oh, Volt raising Watanabe. Like we said, Frog picking off 2 right there. Taro engaging, taking out Frog. So got that trade going.
And lots of trades come back and forth between both teams, but eventually it's the last player alive for Grand Canyon. Taro trying to get the hell out of dodge, staying away from the Classic, but cannot avoid the bullets of Ghost. Wave Riders fighting their 3rd.
Doing an excellent job there. Keeping this a close match, like we said, they seem to really have found out what GCU is doing, what the way they work. It's making this interesting. You got to give them props for that because they're adapting. They were going down, and then the previous map they had been down, and now they're just really doing a good job of adapting to this. Also, they're staying about the same spot. I've noticed they're not really pushing over to one side too much.
Yeah, I think they're dispersing themselves over nicely across the map, whereas GCU, they try to force the issue sometimes a little bit too hard at points as they're stunned inside of the middle of the map. So far, the narrative of this match has been whoever gets the opening pick wins the round. I imagine that will continue, as it is always nice to have a nice little advantage. Last map on Ascent, it was not the case. It didn't matter who got the opening pick or not. It was a round win either side. GCU being a little bit better in a couple of those, obviously putting themselves ahead on map. This time around, it's Frog to secure the opening pick, so you can only imagine the Wave Riders could win this round if the narrative stays true.
Yeah, the Wave Riders got to be careful if they bunch up at all, and the Raze finds them because Raze loves hitting multiple at a time. So we'll see if that comes into play at all here.
Especially
we got the breach.
Especially with the rocket launcher play that could come through here from the Raze. But overall, in Crypto, able to find a kill after trying to disrupt the GCU attack, which has come through the middle of the map.
And Crypto doing an excellent job, definitely stepping up from the last time, using the breach this time instead of the KO. Definitely doing a lot better, and I love seeing that from him. Obviously, I don't like that he's taking out our guys, but you got to commend the work he's putting in there. Definitely bringing up and showing how good he is.
When Watanabe has the opportunity to whip out the showstopper, could find a couple bodies inside of heaven if Encrypto and Cold dare to push up. And here's where the showstopper comes through, but it's actually going to be used to break into the bomb site. Watanabe able to find the showstopper kill, and now GCU have control. A nice teleport deep, able to get that backside control and getting inside.
Ooh.
Watanabe finds the headshot, finds a second onto Cold. Are you kidding me, Watanabe? Show him how it's done. The spike has been planted now as GCU have the 2 versus 1 advantage. They can break the narrative. Taro finding the headshot, and Grand Canyon close out the round.
Oh my gosh, Watanabe giving the 3-piece combo, and Taro coming with the side of the sauce there.
Just how I like my orders, right? A couple cane sauce to go. No slaw, you can hold that. I'll take some sauce, at least with the fingers. You gotta love some cane sauce.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
why
my
not,
gosh,
right?
this played out so well. Watanabe hitting their shots, getting 3 total that round. Definitely stepping up there. Love to see it. You need somebody to do it every once in a while and really get that momentum change going.
And that's how you use your ultimate, sometimes to just find that crack inside of the bomb site. The Wave Riders just were not quite able to shut down Watanabe before he was able to get the showstopper active and out of his hands, netting in a kill, as well as finding more in the round. Incredible play overall by the Lopes as they continue to dominate in this match, at least so far. Boss a little aggressive here on the swing, but decides to think better of it as he'll back up. The Lopes, though, rather slow here on this initial attack.
Yep. I mean, Wave Riders doing a pretty good job of staying where they're at. They don't go anywhere they don't want to. Although it looks like they have a chance of engaging in mid. That Omen looking like he might lurk through the garage to B. All right, the enemy Omens are both in about the same spot. They're looking to move on each other. Let's see how that goes there. Nader down the middle as usual.
Both teams opposing themselves, but GCU look to go for the rotation, this time towards the B site. They've been a fan of both, whether it's A or B, but typically they hit B through mid. This time around, though, it appears as a straight garage take is the play. A couple of smokes will be placed out here by the Lopes as they dive on through. An aggressive play by Watanabe will find the headshot that goes. Open things up like a can of cane sauce here for the Lopes. They find so many bodies of the Wave Riders. Complete site control established, and the spike goes down.
Man, GCU really serving up a full meal here for them. Let's see who else they catch. I think Cold's going to get caught here by Watanabe.
Could
there
be
it
the
is.
case. A nice shot yet again. Watanabe with 3 chicken fingers trying to collect the final one. Does he know where the last player is hanging out? Inside of CT is Mikey, who surely is going to be hunted. Looking left, right. Where are the Lopes? Nader is primed and ready, but does not land the shot. A nice kill by Mikey, but Volt will go hunting, trying to find another, but Mikey able to take another weapon out of the hands of the Lopes. A right click seems to be in play for Watanabe. A 4-finger combo for him is Watanabe for 4 in
providing
that round.
us with the Caniac of the match right now. Doing an absolutely insane job, that one. Watanabe definitely being the one to step up here in this round. We saw Nader being the one to do that last time, but Nader's bottom fragging this time, which is actually really interesting. Watanabe being the one to top frag. Nice change up. It really shows that sometimes based on their agents and based on the map, it just someone is going to take the lead on our team.
And GCU, again, dominating the economy and having the better weaponry here in this round. Overall, the Lopes just look great early on in this match. It seems like Split is one of those maps that they are enjoying and doing rather well on. An aggressive push in through A. Nader looking to find the kill, but it's actually Volt who finds the headshot just before Nader. Nader able to find their now a second pick for the Lopes on this round as they'll take down Frog. All of the bodies have been focused here for the Wave Riders toward the A site as GCU have clearly dedicated this push towards A. Cold finding a headshot onto Volt, but still Watanabe looking better. Cold will pull out the showstopper, finds Watanabe. Boss and Taro clean things up, and it's a team ace for the Lopes.
Excellent. That all happened really fast at the end, not gonna lie. Okay, Grand Canyon, now they all have ults, minus Nader, unfortunately. But Oh, man, let's see if they use them all in one, or if they, split them out. Usually they split them out between the runs as not to waste them, but it'd be interesting to see what goes down. That Killjoy ult has been there for like 5 rounds, by the way, not used at all.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising for the ultimates to not be pulled out here by the Wave Riders. I feel like that's a little bit of a difference that we've seen so far, is that Grand Canyon have just made better efficiency and usage of their ultimates, finding more picks and helping themselves out more throughout this match than the Wave Riders have been able to do so far.
It seems like, was it Crypto got a little quiet too using that breach? Haven't seen him make any huge plays in a little bit.
Yeah, the playmakers of the Wave Riders just not quite showing up. I'd also like to highlight the Cold, who was very good on map number 1, just not quite showing up here on map 2. But maybe just as I say something, he'll decide to get an opening pick here for the Wave Riders as Taro falls early.
Both those Jets actually struggling to get some going for themselves. I wonder if it's just because of the map or just they're not as comfortable on this one.
But a nice res here comes from the Lopes as, well, you'll get one body back, and now Boss finds the opener here for the Lopes. Effectively, the opening pick goes in favor of GCU, although the Wave Riders technically do force the ult and the res to be burnt. Boss now with control of the A site as well as the Omen, who makes their way on through. A teleport comes in, and now the highlight of where they are come through. It's a nice pick, though, here from Frog to be able to res Mikey, and Crypto finds Nader. It's a flood through elbow, and Crypto continuing to trade things out back and forth between both teams, but it remains a 1 versus 2 for Volt, who's not able to close things out. Just as I speak their name into fruition, Cold decides to have a 3K that round and closes things out for the Wave Riders.
It's that commentator's curse.
It really was.
We say something and it just happens, and then you feel bad about it later. That's why we usually have the desk here, and we'll just knock on it after we say things. It can't be our fault. We absolve. We absolve. But Cold there actually doing a really good job. Is back on top. I was excited actually to see Mikey get res, because Mikey's been doing pretty consistent and getting some good hits, but did not do anything after getting resed and has not been performing as well as he did in the last match. And Crypto doing better than last match, but still not doing well enough. I think we really need to see more from them from the bottom there, those last 3.
Yeah, some of the bodies that were not so hot in map number 1, looking a little cold, or were very hot in map number 1, rather looking a little cold, a little icy here in map number 2, but still both sides performing just as needed, different bodies stepping up as needed. An aggressive take yet again coming here from GCU, the showstopper from Watanabe, able to take down Mike, who has had a rough game so far. And now Watanabe positioning himself nice and close to CT, waiting for an aggressive push. Terror will begin to get the spike down, and here is where the Lopes begin to close things out as they set up for the post plant.
Can we just talk about that raised point-blank ult to the face? Just how are you going to survive an RPG to your face, even if you are Sage? There's no healing from that.
Yeah, extremely
nice
rude and disrespectful by Grand Canyon. And Cold able to find 2, but gets traded out as GCU just simply have the man advantage in numbers. Bossman's out the final fight onto a Crypto, and the Lopes take an 8-4 lead going into the side swap.
Yep, they are better. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it's interesting because the Wave Riders aren't doing terrible because they're able to get a win in there, but it's like every so often they're not doing so bad to where they need to worry too much. You know what I'm saying? Like they're down 4, but they're not playing horrible enough to be like, oh no, they're gonna lose for sure.
Well, the Lopes were a little bit more dominant on their defensive half as well last map, so I'm curious to see how things pan out here. It really comes down to the pistol round, who's going to be able to get some of that advantage in some of the early rounds here on the side half. But one thing I want to note is we've had no clutches in this map. Last map, we saw a lot of huge clutches coming from Nader, from Mike, a lot of different players on both sides, but this time around, not the case. There's just been no big clutch factors that have really happened. These teams have been able to seal out the rounds rather easily when it comes to things, and no 1v1s have come just as of yet.
Nope. Boss going down in the pistol round, that's all right. Let's see how this plays out, because, you know, we've only won the 1 pistol round out of 3, right? Yeah, so let's see how this one goes.
We've won 1 out of 2, or out of 3 so far. You are correct, and now things are evened out as the spike begins to go down. A trade between a couple players come through, but Mikey is a little bit better than Volt in that sense and is able to take him down. Nader and Another body of Watanabe will have to try to clutch things out, and they're both duelists, so both easily able to be aggressive, but it comes down to can they land the shots. Nader is not able to do so. Watanabe will have to clutch a 1 versus 3. Swings around, and it's Mikey for 4 on the round.
Unfortunately, that ending looking like a scene out of a gangster movie. Just 3 of them turning those corners and just like, all right, buddy, and just unloading the lead there. Unfortunate, but I mean, like we said in the last map, us losing the pistol round wasn't a huge factor. Definitely a slight setback, but nothing we can't come back from, nothing we haven't come back from.
Well, I'm liking the grouping of kills from GCU. Boss being very consistent between the maps. Same with Taro. Watanabe this time having a map for himself. But Nader rather quiet, especially after the nice 20 bomb he was able to drop there on Ascent. This time around, maybe a little bit quieter than the team might enjoy. Otherwise, GCU could have found themselves even higher up in some of these rounds. Regardless, though, the Lopes have still done a good job of maintaining their advantage. But here on the disadvantage round, we'll have to see how things pan out as the Wave Riders are extremely aggressive on their entry onto B.
Wow, Taro getting sprayed in the back of the head there, and Crypto coming in, taking out Volt. Really crazy push from them. We haven't seen stuff like that yet. Oh, man.
The spike goes down here for Hawaii as they're able to find a couple huge kills onto Grand Canyon, who are in the disadvantage round. Of course, you do not have the weapons to fight. You're trying to save up so that you can go back and win the bonus. That's the plan here for the Lopes, at least, as they settle on holding inside of CT, waiting for the Wave Riders, daring for them to go for any sort of peek, trying to take a weapon or two out of the hands.
They said, do it, I dare you. Nader putting AFK in the chat, just letting everybody know.
Yeah, really tempting the Wave Riders to try to pad those stats. Ghost seems to be the body who wants to do so. Boss is just going to completely walk at him. Watanabe able to take at least a weapon out of the hands, but overall, it's a Wave Riders round win. As well, some shenanigans at the end, just as we thought we might see here, as both teams are, you know, a little silly goofy when it comes to each other.
The chat really showing off. It's like, you won't do it, and they're like, all right, bet, and then they go and they're like, we ball, we got this.
Poor Ghost really gets sent into a crappy situation, just overall.
It was funny. It was funny, but it really shows that, like, they may be rivalries, but it's like a friendly rivalry. So, I mean, they're willing to mess around and do something like that. It's not as serious as if they were playing against UCSC Gold, for example.
I'm sure Ghost will be getting a little bit of fun in the comms later on when the teams are queued up for ranked later on. Cold able to find the opener onto Nader, so a cold start yet again here for the Lopes, but still things are very doable. They have found rounds where they don't get the opening pick. We'll have to see how they're able to do so, but they're spread rather far and thin. Taro is trying to get this pick, but now the util dump comes through. The Wave Riders are looking really good in this round as they just separate all of the Lopes. It's going to be a 2 versus 5. It's going to have to come through from Volt and Boss, but they do find a couple picks, a couple of huge picks, which even them out at a 2 versus 3, still with the better weaponry in hand, so could potentially find this round for themselves, although the spike has been planted.
I'm questioning how they're doing so well on attack when this wasn't even their map pick. You know, in the last one comparatively, we didn't see them perform nearly this well on their attack. So it's really great to see this change of pace here. Oh man.
Yeah,
it's taken out fast.
We've seen some better play here from the Wave Riders on their attack. Just look more together, more put together overall. A little bit better team coordination-wise, and GCU back in a bye round. It's going to be tough for them to win this one. The Wave Riders are looking to even things out here at 8 apiece.
Yep. And that would be 4 in a row for Wave Riders if they do take this one. And you got to ask yourself as GCU, what do we need to do different now that they're becoming far more aggressive than they're used to?
His defensive half hasn't been the greatest for Grand Canyon, as they've struggled to find their footing, but it was the same case last map of Ascent, where GCU gave up 4 straight rounds before making the proper adjustments to get 4 straight back and eventually take the lead, overwhelming the Wave Riders and winning the map.
Yep, it seems to take us a little longer to read the team when stuff starts going bad like that, so we just got to hope that they have enough time to bring it back around for the win. Because we would love to see a 2-0 map run, you know?
Well, I like to see the aggressive plays here coming from Taro, bringing out the Bucky, not a weapon that we see quite often, but maybe a little bit of fun action.
Woo!
Watanabe also with the
Dang.
Bucky, able to hit the headshot on the Cold, closing things out. Would love to grab the Vandal in his possession, but still positioned on top of this wall. It looks like Nader's actually going to snag that Vandal, and now that's a weapon in the hands of the Lopes, who could easily use that to turn the round into their favor. The attacker Killjoy lockdown comes through, trying to force the Lopes out of the favorable defensive position, but still no push to come just as of yet.
Yep, looks like Taro got caught amidst that fight to get out of there. Nader going in. Oh, Watanabe getting down. Nader getting down by both by Frog. Frog actually getting a good couple shots in here.
A nice couple picks to come through, but Volt's not able to find the kills to clean up here on the Wave Riders. And although the beginning of the round looked promising, things fell just a little bit flat for the Lopes.
Yeah, you know they're really going to hear about getting hit by a Bucky. And there's the timeout that we had been expecting from Alex.
Yeah, GCU deciding, hey, we're going to wait things out. We're going to take a small timeout, talk amongst ourselves, listen to the comments of the coach, and see exactly what needs to be fixed. So there's a couple things you could argue here for the Lopes that really just need some adjusting. They've just not been able to get their footing set properly, and as well, the Wave Riders have done a great job of displacing the Lopes from those favorable defensive positions. I'd like to see things change up a little bit, move your spots, and try to counter out some of the utility that's been utilized by the Wave Riders to displace yourselves.
Yeah, I think we really need to see them use their util better. Because what was funny is we had mentioned before the switch in the half that seemingly the Wave Riders weren't using their util to its full advantage, and now it's the opposite. Grand Canyon's the one struggling to do that, and we often don't see that from them. So it's an interesting change-up they need to make because they usually never have to make it.
And the Wave Riders have been pretty solid on this map overall. It just seems as though that's the case. But it seems like we get a good old case of the Collegiate Special where each team wins the other's map pick. At least that's the way it goes for the game I typically play, which is Rainbow Six Siege. Here in Valorant, it seems to be maybe playing the same trend because GCU won the Hawaiian map pick of Ascent. This time around, it looks like the Wave Riders have a little bit of speed and might be surfing their way to a victory here on Split.
GCU needs to play carefully here. Oh, Nader has the op. I didn't even notice that. Took out Mikey. Oh, things are going to heat up now. Come on, baby.
Well, Nader was so confident with the op on map number 1. We saw some huge play from him as he was hitting his shots. Maybe that's all he needs is the sweet, sweet sound of the very loud gun to go through and put a couple bullets through the skulls of the Wave Riders, starting things off hot in round number 17.
My man was borderline cocky. The only reason it wasn't considered cocky was because he could back it up with the skill.
And here comes the quick take into the site here from the Wave Riders, the wall to block things off, but Volt has done a nice job of breaking this wall, able to find the headshot onto Ghost. Here's where the plant comes down from Frog as it almost goes down, but no, it's a quick maybe rotation here from the Wave Riders. Not quite sure what is happening as GCU just simply clean things up. Although they lose a couple bodies for it, they've got the man advantage and the refrags come through. A great round by Grand Canyon to bounce back and finally find one, as this map on the defensive side is almost taking the same exact suit where the Wave Riders take 4, GCU takes 1, the Wave Riders may take this one, and then the GCU Lopes might just run away with it after.
Oh no, we're in for some trouble. Nader's got an op and Taro. Oh, Taro switched it out, but Taro had a judge. That is a troublesome combo when either one of them just goes with that. Nader, because he's crazy with the op. Taro honestly just goes crazy with the op sometimes. I mean, with the judge sometimes, excuse me. And you can never predict how well he's going to do with it.
There's some sneaky judge plays that can certainly be made by the Lopes. The op on A means that the Wave Riders are afraid, or on B rather, and the Wave Riders are rather afraid. They like to make their push in through A, and they're able to do so with ease as they're already getting the spike down. I mean, so quickly into the round does the spike go down. GCU will have to coordinate themselves together to go for this retake. It's actually going to be an aggressive take here from Hawaii, who decide to push into ramp, try to take that tower control. And Watanabe able to find a pick, but still Nader not able to land the hop shot. Ooh, that could have turned things around here for the Lopes, but who they have taken so much damage. It appears as though they might just try to get out of this one, trying to save that operator, but not able to do so. Cold will take down Watanabe, and Taro, the last remaining member, trying to find a couple exit frags, but overall, it's a Wave Rider round.
Yep. Unfortunate way for that to go. Nader, they're seemingly wasting his chance. It's unfortunate, but, I mean, it happens like that sometimes. I mean, an op is an op. It's hard to hit with. I think we're just used to Nader being absolutely precise and surgical with it. But it's weird because you shift the momentum, and then the momentum goes back to the way it was, and now you're at this part where you're 9-9, you're tied again, and you're wondering, what am I going to do next? Oh, okay, interesting picks. Volt's got a stinger. I like it. I like it. I think Volt's one of the ones we see use the stinger a lot when he's back down into this, small price tag. He's like, I'll go with the stinger, and it works for him.
Yeah, GCU going for the thrift store approach here is they are rather low on income here in this round, but still they're not out of it. They can certainly win this one, especially with a couple nice picks. Could easily find some of those bodies of the Wave Riders if they pair up nicely. Nader also has the knives out in hand in play. A showstopper from Watanabe is a pre-fire, not able to find anybody as Encrypto gets the opener for Hawaii.
Yeah. Nader also has his ult ready and active, it looks like, seemingly to find something. Cypher also.
On all of the Wave Riders have made their way into the base site. They've got full, complete control and begin to get the spike down. This is going to be a tough one for the Lopes to win back, especially without the favorable weapons. Nader whiffs a couple of knives inside of mid. That allows Cold to secure that frag. And now Taro has a Phantom, could decide to push in, but more than likely will try to save the weapon, save the economy that has been struggling, rather, for Grand Canyon. Boss with a swing with the classic, still not able to find picks as GCU yet again struggling here in this round. Taro able to take a weapon out of the hand of Cold, but still, nonetheless, it looks like GCU will decide to retreat and go for the save after the exit frags come through.
Oh, Taro doing a good job staying in the fight, and I suppose a little too soon. Gets taken out. That puts it 10-9, just a one round difference.
GCU have significantly struggled on the defense here and have already taken their timeout for the half. So a little bit concerning to see here for the Lopes how they're going to make the adjustment. Remember, last map of Ascent, they started slow, then they got hot. It hasn't been quite the same here, but it could change. You never know when the tip of the iceberg comes. GCU still in this one. Wave Riders, though, looking a little bit more dominant as Cold and Mike have both heated up.
Yep. We got 3 ults apiece for each team. It looks like the Omen on Wave Riders is using his ult today.
It's an aggressive push here through the middle of the map. Ghost able to come behind Volt, taking him out. GCU already in the disadvantage this round again. The Wave Riders just look much more put together here. Bosto with a nice couple shots, able to completely stunt the push of the Wave Riders as now things pan out to be a 3 versus 3.
That was a great play by Boss. We gotta appreciate Eli doing that. Oh, Nader getting wall banged is not what they need right now. They really could have used him in there.
Well, nice couple picks here from the Lopes, though, to bring things back. Watanabe with a nade kill. The paint shell is actually doing the damage done. And with the help of Boss, GCU look to secure this round. Taro finds the killjoy of Mike and finds the last one of Encrypto. An incredible round here for Boss. The production team will very much appreciate that one.
Yep.
Grand Canyon even things up at 10 apiece.
Oh my gosh! Now we're in for a slugfest. We're gonna go back and forth. Watch. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Incredible play by Boss. I
Let's see
mean,
if we
not
got it.
only finding that one pick onto the body coming from the backside, but also to find the one in heaven. No trade.
Look at
to
that
come
mark he
through
did too.
from the Wave Riders. Is an incredible job by Boss to find those picks. You got to be kidding me. Coming into this match, looking great as ever, doing the job that needs to be done. Again, we'd love for Nader to really step up here. That could be the difference maker in this match. If one of the GCU bodies at the lower half of the leaderboard just start to shine, and Nader could be that guy.
Yeah, because the others seem to keep needing to come to his aid, and that's something they're not used to. They really need him to step up and like carry his own weight in this one. It looks like we have a full push in mid. This should be interesting. Volt's right there. Let's see if he figures out that they're gonna go there.
Here's where the aggressive showstopper comes through yet again by the Rays, but Mike able to take down Nader yet again. The Jet just failing to do the job needed here in this match. Boss will turn his head away at the wrong time, but Watanabe finds 2. That is huge for GCU as it puts them right back in this round. They still have the opportunity here in this one. They've taken a little bit of chip damage, so effectively their HP is not quite the same or not able to match, and now the Killjoy lockdown comes through here for the Wave Riders.
Watanabe, like we said, was definitely stepping up this round and is really carrying the team when it comes to getting the momentum going and keeping it in a good spot right there. Like we saw the 2 kills, which is exactly what they needed. I think this is the 2nd round in a row Watanabe has done that.
And here's where the spike goes down for the Wave Riders. Taro on the flank from behind has a nice flash, is able to completely blind his enemy of Encrypto. That puts Grand Canyon in the advantage. They've not been incredible at the retakes, but here is where they have the opportunity. A nice res from Volt picks Boss back up, and the coverage is there, which will save him. The ultimate is used. That means there's information perfectly acquired here on their opponent of the Wave Riders. Cold is the last player to find. They've got to get onto the diffuser, though, and Cold clutches things out for the Wave Riders this time.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I thought he had that. That would have been such a great comeback to get rezzed like that and then go in and get that final kill. Obviously did a great job, boss. No harm, no foul, but would have loved to see that. All right, so like we said, that slugfest is here. It's present. It's another one. It's 11-10. It just seems like they're gonna alternate from here on out because I mean you had the win from Wave Riders, then us, then now the Wave Riders. I think we're gonna get another one.
Bloody match back and forth between these two teams, but still we reside in this one as it's very much looking like we could head into overtime, which I would give a little bit in favor of the hands of the Wave Riders, but Nader able to finally get the opener that we were looking for. However, the res comes through here from the Wave Riders so effectively, no kill to come just as of yet, and instead it's an explosion of better weaponry here from Hawaii as they explode onto the A site. Taro with the judge is able to find one, but still is going to have found 4 more bodies here of the Wave Riders who swarm him. Ghost with the better weaponry yet again of the Vandal will take down Taro, putting the Wave Riders onto match point.
Yep. Unfortunately, that was not the round that they needed. They had the unfortunate circumstance of having that low buy. Man, it sucks because they had that early kill, and that's what they needed, but that Sage just had their ult ready. We got Nader with that op, hoping to start something and able to finish out this round with a win and get them going and get that forced overtime.
Well, if GCU want to win their map pick of Split, they're going to have to do something huge. They've got to win 2 rounds in a row, something that they've not been able to do since their attacking half. It has just been a rough defense here for Grand Canyon as Watanabe has flashed from the early initial push from the breach, but it's a distraction here from the Wave Riders, who are playing this one rather passive. Nader trying to hit the shot, almost able to get the lurking pick of Mike. Still, though, nothing yet to come of this round.
Yep, unfortunate. Did you see how aggressive Encrypto was in that start off? He just started pushing them hard, and then they did not panic, but realized, oh man, this could be rough. And then they pulled out again, and then reset. Kind of playing with them mentally, toying. Yeah, it looks like they're pushing for B though. They got 3 of them. They got Omen, Sage, and I can't tell what the other icon is right now. It's got to be the Rays, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies that have rotated over towards the garage push for the Wave Riders. They're going to explode on through. Taro tries to teleport into the backside and is his position right into it. Is Frog wins out that fight. Taro just not able to land the shots needed. Volto with a surprise pop-up finds the spike planter, and it is still doable here for Grand Canyon, but Nader with the op has to find something. Watanabe is going to have to clutch. Able to get one with the showstopper, finds a second. Can they land the headshot?
Oh,
no, the Wave
no.
Riders play the better refrags in the end there as they close out the round and the map. This one's going all the way. We're going to have a hell of a map number 3.
Oh, yeah.
On to Fracture we will going in soon, but overall, a very aggressive, fun map of Split.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's tough to watch your team lose, but that was such a great comeback from the Wave Riders. I mean, you can't discredit them at all. That was fantastic. And like you said, the old collegiate, how'd you put it?
Collegiate special.
There you go. They won each other's map picks, which is insane. And now we're going to go into the overtime, which you said was Fracture, right?
Fracture.
That's going to be an interesting one to see how they do that. GCU obviously doesn't have the momentum right now. The Wave Riders do. But I think it'll be interesting because it's not like they completely slacked off on that last round. They put up a great fight. Watanabe there was able to get 2-3 kills.
Yeah, a couple picks, but still just not quite able to close it out for the Lopes. Again, their defense is a little bit concerning. It just did not have the same team play, same fiery aspect that we saw quite on Ascent. But still, nonetheless, there's plenty of time to go through and figure things out exactly how the Lopes want to make the adjustment going into Fracture, which is a map I believe they do enjoy. So we'll have to see how everything pans out there. They'll be starting on the attack, which is preferred on Fracture. So maybe the Lopes will start out hot, especially because their attacks have been so good. I think we're going to go to a break just for a couple minutes, regather our thoughts, let the Lopes talk things out. Hawaii also going to do the same on their end. Going into map number 3. We'll see you on Fracture in just a few.
Don't go nowhere.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back yet again. Map number 3, Fracture, almost underway. We just watched the Wave Riders take down GCU in their own map pick of Split. GCU took map number 1 of a set, but still we're here, Joseph, powered by Rockstar and sponsored by Canes. We're ready to hop into this thing, I think.
Definitely going to need that Rockstar going into this third map, and we're going to see how long this goes. I feel like it's going to be a battle. What do you think, Mason?
Yeah, back and forth between both teams it's been, but we'll have to see exactly how things play out. I know GCU personally love the Fracture pick, also the Neon being shown by Watanabe. I'm excited to see how she is played. You don't often see a Neon, especially in competitive Valorant, but still there's always that opportunity. GCU, who's been so dominant on attack, we may just see her be utilized to a very strong fashion.
Yeah, it's such a switch up. We got Nader at Killjoy. I know what I've seen Watanabe use Neon before, but it's been such a long time since last semester. But I'm not familiar with Nader playing Killjoy that often, so it'd be interesting to see. But you see the Breach and Brimstone together on both teams. That's not uncommon at all, plus the Killjoy. So they're matched up that way, plus the KO. I mean, the only difference is the Neon and the Rays standing out.
Yeah, Breach is so strong on a map like Fracture just because of the lower angles that you can get. Being able to expose those players inside of the B site, it just comes down to can you work together well enough to be able to expose those spots. GCU has been 1 for 4 in pistol rounds thus far, so we'll have to see if they're able to be successful this time around. A very aggressive push here from Watanabe, able to take down Frog, trying to find another, but that player has rotated out rather quickly from the Wave Riders as GCU lead things off with the opener.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a tough 1v3 here. Ooh, picks one off. The 2. Oh, nice trade off there.
Wow, and the overwhelming push of Mike and Encrypto to close things out clear. GCU overall, but Volt able to get the spike down inside of the A site in a preferable plant spot as well. It's planted wide out in the open, and Volt with the frenzy swing able to find Cold, gets the headshot, and actually it's a trade coming through as Nader finishes off Ghost. A 1 versus 1 here for the pistol round, but with the stun it's going to be an easy kill for Encrypto, but no, Nader is better, finds the pick. A huge round by Grand Canyon to open things up on map number 3.
Definitely a great job there. Nader definitely coming back up after we said he was struggling last round. So I love to see that. You love to see it come back out. You see the dog in him just showing a little bit.
That's the player GCU needs to step up if they want to take their third map. They struggled a lot on map 2 due to the failing fragging capability out of Nader. But if he steps up, if he shows up in a big way, that could be the impact and the difference maker needed for Grand Canyon.
Nader and Watanabe are the perfect combo to start popping off, and right now they both have 2 apiece, so they're already well on their way.
And everyone's spamming their abilities here as an aggressive push through Arcade seems to be in store here for the Lopes. They try to brute force their way through. Watanabe is just going to slide by. Nader finds 2, able to whip around, finds the kill onto Frog. Great trades here by the Lopes as they explode onto the B site, continuing to find more bodies as Boss, and now the last player alive is Ghost as Nader finds his 3rd on the round.
Wow, this is the teamwork we were used to seeing in that first map, and we didn't see a whole lot of towards the end of that second one. They lose only 1 body, and it's that KO there. Done excellently. I mean, right here is where you're going to see where the Neon runs through, and Nader's able to finish off those 2 right there with the Bulldog, and that's where Watanabe gets that excellent opportunity to whip around and take him out.
GCU came out of the break clearly with a fire lit under their tails. They found 2 aggressive, well-played team rounds overall so far. If they continue that trend, this may be a swifter map number 3 than we might expect.
Yeah, interesting that we still keeping Bulldogs in the lineup, but I mean, it seems to be working for them.
Hey, might as well be aggressive when you can. Watanabe just slides right past Encrypto, hits him with a little Euro step action. Boss able to find a couple as well. Again, the Lopes are just cleaning things up here on the attack. They look so good right now. Are you kidding me? As they make their way on through, Spike begins to go down in the most favorable position in the back of the A site, and the Wave Riders have no response.
They have no idea what just happened. I mean, Watanabe, that is twice now. He's run and just slid in with that Neon with absolutely no repercussions at all, using it to full extent of her abilities. Excellent job there. I'm gonna say they're gonna be able to take these guys out, no problem.
Yeah, and they've got weaponry in their hands too, GCU at least, but so do the Wave Riders. Frog able to get the headshot onto Watanabe. This would be a round that the Wave Riders really would like to win, because if they don't, then they are at a significant disadvantage. Mike actually takes down Volt, but again, the diffuser begins to tick away, and ticks away so far as that the Wave Riders have to retreat. GCU able to retain the weaponry and the round win.
Yep, interesting there. Those two weren't able to get any more kills other than just, I think it was the Neon, but I really thought those two were going to go down.
Who knows? I mean, again, a credible play.
This is fantastic right here. Look at this again. Oh my gosh, that was so clean and nasty with it.
I love the Rockstar replay, going through, sliding past the attack, or the defender rather, on the door, and then also Eli or Boss able to find a couple frags as well. Nader starting off this map 5-0. That's exactly what the Lopes needed.
Oh yeah, and then Watanabe close behind with 4 and 2, and then Boss there 3. 2 of those coming from the last round. What a nice cleanup from him. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's a great start by the Lopes, but they've got to continue to keep this pressure up. They seem primed and ready for this arcade push, as it almost looks like the Wave Riders have rotated too many bodies out. This has entirely been cleared out, this path through arcade for the Lopes, but they continue to wait. Where is the push going to come through here for the Lopes is what the Wave Riders are trying to ask, as you've got the lurking Killjoy on the A site, and they all have rotated away. Grand Canyon have played this round elitely, as they can just walk on through, get the spike down with ease.
Yeah, the only thing in their way is that little turret. That's about it. They're going to be super careful about this, though. They're still going to play it safe. It may alert the Wave Riders, but I think they've already found out, like, uh-oh, we've made it oopsie.
And Nader's here just to be a distraction, but if he's able to get picks and close things out, that's even better for the Lopes. He finds a second headshot. Could he find a third through the wall?
Oh,
no,
nearly
not
a third
quite
piece.
able to. The Bulldog just not strong enough to penetrate through, but nonetheless, he's done his job. Grand Canyon getting the spike down this time here in the B site. Wave Riders have to respond, as they have been fooled and bamboozled by the Lopes. Getting on in, getting that spike down. Here's where the flash and the push tries to come through, but Grand Canyon have the better crossfires established. However, Frog has something to say about it. Will take down Volt, but a lot of damage being done to the Wave Riders. Great coverage here by Boss, who just continues to land the shots and light things up. But Frog has 3 kills on the round now. The defuse begins to come through. Boss will have to clutch the 1 versus 2, but Frog finds 4 on the round. Somehow, the Wave Riders pull that one out.
Yeah, I don't know how Frog did that. His HP was so low from that initial hit he took. He's just trading those off and is able to come out of that on top. Really well done. Haven't seen a whole lot of Frog being dominant in the previous matches, but now he's on top for them. It's crazy.
Yeah, it just takes one special player to step things up. Frog clearly being that player for the Wave Riders is, well, an incredible round so far, but this time Taro for GCU is one of those players who's a little bit more quiet. We'd like to see him step things up, and that could be beneficial for the Lopes. Again, it takes a village to be successful, and truthfully, that's what we need. And right now, it's just not showing up entirely in favor for the Lopes. They've still found a couple aggressive rounds so far, and here's the ult and aggression coming from Watanabe, as he'll walk on through, trying to find a couple bodies, but the player and coverage is there from the Lopes. They explode onto the B side easily again, get the control they need. A nice stun comes through, lands 1 headshot. Mike takes down 2, but the refrag comes through eventually, as Volt is able to get Crypto and Nader through the smoke, finds Mike.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. You love to see when the ult from Neon hits. Unfortunately, it was immediately traded back. What a way that one went. Let's see this replay, though. Look at this. Everything's getting dazed and confused, and then bam, runs in, finds the hit, takes him out, gets traded. That was actually pretty good. Mike's been consistently pretty good on those. Usually when Mike pops up in that kill feed, it's 2 in a row. Really good at being where he needs to be, but ultimately getting taken out by Nader through the smoke, which was an amazing shot. Just saw where those were coming from and was like, you know what? I think I got this.
I love the aim labs being played by Watanabe and Boss, just messing around with each other, taking a couple pot shots. But still, nonetheless, the Lopes have just looked so great about the team play in this match. They are simply waiting on ropes for each other. Boss whips around the 180 shed shot onto Frog, and now here's where Grand Canyon can take their dominant push into the B site. They've launched the Killjoy lockdown in the lower half of the map. This allows them to work their way on in, but now here's where the Wave Riders explode back.
Okay, we see that arcade right there. We can see through the wall. We see the arcade, but Boss is anticipating it. Uses his util. Oh, Mike getting taken out. Taro popping off right now. We said he needed to step it up.
And that's exactly what is needed from the Lopes, as Taro is able to find a couple last remaining players shut down in Canteen. GCU looks so good on these attacks.
Oh yeah, they're doing excellent right now. They're exactly where they want to be. They want to keep playing like this. It looks like that one loss is just a minor fluke. A little something went wrong. This is how they're playing. This is who they are as a team.
And me being a GCU fan, obviously a little bit worried for the Wave Riders going into this map of Fracture, knowing GCU in previous history has loved this map. This is a map that they dominate on. They truly love, and this is where they took down the #1 seed of the Santa Cruz Slugs, was actually on Fracture, at least in one of the maps. So nonetheless, to see the Lopes so successful on a map that they enjoyed, getting away with that, really winning out the map ban phase, and it shows as Watanabe gets the headshot.
We got 2 suppressed from that KO knife right there. That was awesome. A crazy initial shot. So, we got to move towards A right there, basically a full team push, except Nader is going to be making trouble as he usually does over there, and B getting somebody else out, taking out Mike. Oh, man.
And again, it's these plays from Nader where he is really just sent as a distraction on the lurk, but still finding the picks needed to actually put Grand Canyon in an even better advantage. The spike goes down here inside of A. Watanabe is literally in the defender spawn as he'll go for the swing from behind and closes things out, finds 3 on the round. Grand Canyon, after a first map that was rather close, a second map that they lost, all of a sudden have taken complete control, grabbed the bull by the horns, and are running away with it from the Wave Riders.
Yeah, excellent job. We get to see the replay, but just before the replay, we saw they took that timeout indeed. I feel like the Wave Riders definitely need it right now. I mean, they've had 3. They got 1 interruption in there, another 3 in a row, and another 3 in a row, just rammed down their throat. I mean, GCU is playing phenomenally right now. This is the team we know and the team we love. This is how we love seeing them play. And Nader, like we've been saying, has just been kind of the distraction, causing trouble there, taking out as many people as he can just to throw them into dysfunction. And it's working so well right now. They have no answer.
And he's often taking these 1 versus X fights. It's not just one body. It's usually 2 or 3, and he's winning out at least 1, if not 2 picks. And that is massive for the Lopes, as not only is he a massive distraction, but also just gets to exist. Now, one thing I love here is that the Wave Riders haven't really recognized the fact that GCU has always sent Nader on this lurk. Wherever the Killjoy is, seems to be where the push isn't, and the Wave Riders have yet to take a realization of that being the case. Also, Grand Canyon has found the opening pick in every round thus far, clearly showing why they have such a dominant advantage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hopefully that's what they covered in that timeout. Just like, hey, maybe each time the Nader shows up, the Killjoy shows up, don't be there anymore.
And it really just comes down to the Wave Riders look a little displaced. They are just not winning their fights, and unlike in map #2, Nader is. Yeah. And that is a big factor as to why Grand Canyon are so dominant here this early.
It makes you wonder how comfortable they are with Fracture, because we don't know their history. Watanabe getting a good headshot there, but gets traded out by Ghost. Ooh, Volp stepping up there. We haven't seen a whole lot from Volt either. Love to see it. See if he'll get another one here. Does he get a 2-piece?
Nope. And the coverage is there. Are you kidding me? I mean, Boss is able to simply save Volt's life as the bait comes through, grabbing the orb, securing extra ult charge, flash to get into the site. Frog will swing through, actually finds 2-3 through the smoke. Are you kidding me? All of a sudden, this round turned on his head, but Nader has been the man of the hour in this match for GCU. Knows where this last opponent is. Could try to find Mike. A nice little drop of the alarm bot, trying to find this last player. Instead of going for the spike, gets close inside of Mike's face, and Nader with the 1 versus 2 clutch.
Oh yeah, Nader was definitely, I'm the only one who gets the sheriff like that. Then he hears the op and he's like, how dare you guys come at me with my combo like that, and he shuts that down. I'm honestly surprised he didn't run and grab the op right away.
Yeah, Nader doing a nice job. It actually wasn't the op, it was just a Marshall, a little bit less keen of a weapon, but still, nonetheless, Nader playing that one out very well. Instead of backing up and getting timid, giving the op, or the Marshall rather, the advantage by taking a longer fight. Instead, he actually pushed that player, allowing for it to be a more difficult fight for the Wave Riders and a more advantageous fight for himself. And that's some of the expertise that you see here from the Lopes, especially in this match.
My apologies for calling it off. I'm just so used to that it being used. You're right. It did not have the satisfying sound of the op there.
No, we got to play Guess the Gun earlier. And let's just say you and I need some work on our weaponry and sounds. At least a little bit. Again, a full flurry of utility being sent out towards the Wave Riders. Watanabe is just in the face of the Wave Riders, continuing to win his fights. Nader still winning those fights as well. Boss in the sight. Everyone of GCU looks so good right now. The one player in Canteen from the Wave Riders, Taro, begins to get the spike down, and the round looks again like another GCU round.
If anyone is able to go and be that aggressive, be that blatantly disrespectful, it is both Nader and Watanabe, and they've been doing that this entire match. They're like, I'm going to run in and I'm going to take out whoever I want. I dare you to stop me.
And purely, it's just the fragging power that has come from the Lopes. I mean, look at this. They are dominant in the economy game, and Nader and Watanabe both on double digits just through 9 rounds, which... yes, doesn't sound crazy, but is kind of not been the theme that we've seen this entire game. Taro is actually rather quiet, which is a rare one for GCU, especially since he's been so consistent, especially in these last couple weeks. The Wave Riders, on the other hand, Cold, who has been an absolute rock for them on the entry, on those initial gunfights, has not been able to do that job.
I mean, look at that right there. Taro and Watanabe working together. It's just showcasing the teamwork between our players. They're on top of each other. If one misses the kill, the next gets it. And I think that's what the Wave Riders are really lacking.
Here's where the push comes in yet again from the Lopes. The Killjoy ult does not find anyone on the lockdown, but does its job to push the Wave Riders out of their confident positions. Cold with a beautiful headshot, ripping off the head of Nader, but still Grand Canyon have the spike down, effectively have the advantage, especially with a little bit better weaponry. Showstopper comes out and it goes right into the face of Volt as Cold, all of a sudden I speak his name and he's on for a big round. Boss trying to stop this defuse from going through. It might happen. He actually stops the spike from being defused, but Cold finds the ace on the round. A huge round for the Wave Riders as they bounce back in that one.
Yep, doing an excellent job there. Like you said, just spoke the name and then they stepped up. Cold doing an excellent job there. That's their second win. That is the Wave Riders' second win, as opposed to the 8 that GCU has. How many was that run uncontested? Was that 6? That was 6 in a row, right?
5 rounds is what
5 rounds?
5 in a row, and then the Wave Riders were able to get another round. So if that split continues, I mean, hey, good for Grand Canyon, but the Wave Riders have something to say about it clearly. And my apologies to the guys at GCU for enabling Cold in that round. That was definitely on me, a little bit of a caster curse here for the Lopes.
That's all right. We're going to see Boss to catch some bodies right now. He wants all the smoke right now. Oh, let's see who gets hit. Does Frog get hit?
That is the first opening pick here for Hawaii. Crypto takes down Boss, and that is not exactly, or not Boss rather, but I believe that is Taro to fall early on. Mike in this round. Frog also taking down Watanabe. All of a sudden, the Wave Riders with a little bit of steam back in the engine. It seems like their little engine is finally starting to gain a little bit of traction, but still not completely out of pocket here is this round for Grand Canyon, although both players are massively split across the map. A nice headshot from Boss kicks things off, but still have to find 4 more.
Yep. Doing a great job there. Like I said, he wants the smoke right now. He wants the smoke. Cold is actually really low. I hadn't noticed that. It's just a couple shots from Nader. I think he can land it once he sees where he's at.
And Nader has been great at landing the shots in this map and tries to do so, spams through the wall, not able to land the headshot, eventually does so. This round is very doable. A nice flick onto the player inside of the A site. Eli, or Boss, has made his way through. Nader begins to get the spike down. The coverage has to be there from Boss as it is. What will the Wave Riders do in response? They try to force their way through mid, but still have yet to force the issue. Nader has been so good at hitting his shots in this match. Frog has made an aggressive way up, but where is the coverage from Boss? Where is the help for the team? A flash comes through, but Ghost and Frog close things out. Nearly a recuperated round for Grand Canyon, but eventually the overwhelming bodies close things out for the Wave Riders.
Yeah, Frog's there Frog there was blinded actually when he got Nader with that. Interesting. I think he saw him like right before the blindness hit and then was able to just get where he was. It's great to see this momentum shift. Interesting that it came so far after the timeout. It wasn't an immediate change, but glad to see it. It makes it a more interesting match for all of us. Definitely going to test GCU here a little bit. They got 2 in a row. Now they're going to wonder, how do we change it up?
I would have liked to see a little bit faster of a flash and more aggressive post plant from the Lopes. I think that's the only reason why they actually lost that round, especially after doing so much to bring that one back. I mean, they were in a 5v2 disadvantage entirely, but they're looking to go much quicker this time around as they've already exploded fast and quick through Dish. Watanabe has something to say about the A site, which is his, and now in possession of the Lopes. Volt able to find a headshot on the Cold, but in Crypto able to do the damage done. Watanabe, though, expiring all of the art charge, trying to find bodies, but still doing a great job for the coverage, locking things down as the Lopes continue to maintain the advantage. Taro with a shot on the Frog, who goes for the flank, and now one last player remains alive. It's Mike, who's got the lockdown in play, but that's not even good enough as the Lopes recuperate and win their final round of the half, taking a 9-3 advantage.
You see the shake of the head from Neon there, just like, nope, that did not go the way they wanted it to. That was awesome. You see GCU was like, you know what, no, you don't get to keep going, you don't get to start a roll, this is ours. This is like, I love that from them. It was so well done too. Like, there was, sure, they got they lost 2, but it wasn't a problem at all. They kept going with the 3 they had, and all of them were clutching up their fights. That's exactly what they needed. Watanabe, especially with that ult, is exactly what they needed for a momentum shift there.
When they have their ultimates in play and their attacks are played so well, I mean, it just seems like it's rinse and repeat for the Lopes. They just continue to be aggressive, fast, and it catches the Wave Riders off guard quite often. It seems like they're just a little slow hanging for the Waves, but still, plenty of time in this match for the Wave Riders to make a comeback. Grand Canyon on their defense, I was a little bit concerned. They've spent too many bodies here on the A site, and it's an explosion through the B site into Arcade. Still Tower in control for the Lopes as they try to hold through. Taro gets one with the shorty, but Cold and Mike have something to say about it, able to get those 2 bodies back.
Yeah, good trade-offs there. Unfortunately, the shorties don't have the stopping power of the other shotties. Oh, man. Nader going down early. It's okay, though. It's unfortunate that GCU is so consistently not winning these pistols, but, I mean, they're making the most of what they got here. It's a 2v2. Oh, okay, I spoke too soon, 2v1.
Well, they're not out of it yet. Watanabe could find the shots. Able to finish one on the goes. Could he find Mike? Has the opportunity, has the speed to go for the defuse. Will try to half it. Mike will take the swing just at the right time. Watanabe gets the kill. Does he have the time for the defuse? He does! A huge clutch by Watanabe, securing GCU the pistol round and putting themselves in the advantage going into the end half of this map.
I take back what I said about them in the pistol round. That was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, no, really well done. Let's check out this replay here. Getting it to half, finishing up with the wallbang shot, and finally taking it out, getting that clutch. That was awesome. And definitely some sacrifices made along the way, but well worth it.
And I think I can hear the cheers of the Lopes all the way from the Esports arena where they're playing right now, because that is a huge momentum boost going in towards the tail half of the map, winning that pistol round off of a clutch. That is pure adrenaline surging through the Lopes' veins. The Wave Riders have to make a response, but Watanabe looks to continue off his path of fury after that clutch, being aggressive, an aggressive slide. Incredible team play with the flash. Watanabe will find 2. Although sight has been forfeit to the Wave Riders, they have gotten the spike down, but Watanabe on for his 3rd kill of the round. The Wave Riders have to try to hold things out, but Watanabe still feels so confident. I mean, jumping left, right, all around the map. The Molly will find one. Boss able to clean things up. Grand Canyon 2 rounds away from closing this out.
That was fantastic. Watanabe maybe not getting the kills, but still jumping in, spraying, getting that damage, throwing them off. I mean, that was fantastic teamwork right there. And that movement from both sides of the map right there, going from dish to that hallway right there. Perfect movement. That's exactly what they needed. We'll see this replay right now. Look at this.
I love the team play from Grand Canyon. The flash to come through from Boss. Then Watanabe taking advantage of that, finding those bodies. It seems like GCU just have the better read on Hawaii and know what they're going to do before Hawaii do it.
Yeah, I got to say, if anybody's had anybody's book this game, it's been GCU having Hawaii. It's like they know the playbook, they know what they're going to do, but really showing that they've taken this friendly rivalry just a tad bit more seriously.
All of a sudden, especially here in the end half of the map. But Watanabe, again, somehow, GCU are winning these fights. Are you kidding me? How were they taking advantage of this? A complete flood through A main.
Oh my
Nader
gosh.
closing things out. Grand Canyon have match point secured.
Oh my gosh. Watanabe totally giving up the ult there. Didn't get that right away and just was like, you know what, I got this with the pistol, and absolutely nailed the shots, doing exactly what needed to be done. And we got Boss coming in with a breach to close it up.
I think our faces are all just spelled out exactly of what the heck happened in this match. It was two close maps. I said to you, Joseph, in the break, I was like, man, we are going to have a long night. Clearly, the Lopes have our back and want us to go to bed nice and early because they are taking this map by a storm, winning out in the frag department. Insane gameplay so far for the Lopes. The Wave Riders have to complete this map flawlessly if they want to close things out. Boss will miss a couple of shots onto the player going up the rope, but still, again, looking so dominant. Able to get the opener is Boss, and now Grand Canyon can pivot and take advantage. They're able to clean up so many bodies. Taro finds a bunch, and again, Grand Canyon just running at the Wave Riders at this point. They're trying to run for their life.
Oh,
the disrespect for the knife, almost able to do so as Watanabe. GCU almost tossed that round away, but closed things out. A 13-3 map win, series win, 2-1 all for Grand Canyon University.
Oh my gosh. GCU literally too hot to touch at the end there. You could not stop them for the life of them. That was awesome. They were just absolutely rolling. The whole team was going. The whole team. We were talking about Nader. When he gets rolling, he bulldozes. You better get out of the way. But the entire team was just stepping up. They were able to do everything they wanted to do. Watanabe really coming in and showing off. I'm going to play Neon to the fullest that I can. I'm going to abuse how quick she is and just absolutely exploit the other team. Just getting behind them, shooting them, taking them out without even getting noticed, just moving around the map at like perfect speeds.
I don't know what type of beast of fury came out of the Lopes in that last map. I mean, the first map of Ascent, super close, super tight gameplay. Overall, a little shaky, both teams struggling to get warmed up. Second map, Split. Not going great in the favor of the Lopes. Their defenses looked real worse for where, although they were strong in attack, their defenses, again, were something to be worried about concerning going into Fracture, which GCU got the attacking start clearly advantageous for them. They looked so well rehearsed, so well practiced on that map. I advise any team going into playoffs in NECC, do not take GCU to Fracture. They will make your life miserable. As they did that to Hawaii in this match. I'm excited to get to talk to Volt and the GCU team, hopefully here in just a couple minutes, because what a map, what a game by Grand Canyon overall to close things out in such a dominant fashion. 13-3 in that last map.
Oh, yeah. That was so dominant. You know what actually reminds me, you saying don't take them to Fracture, is that last semester they would get taken to Fracture and struggle, and I mean like really struggle. So I think in that off season and starting this semester, they were really putting in the work there because they've just been so dominant in this part of the tournament. That was insane. Like even in UCSC, they were doing great, but not to this extent of just absolutely demolishing the other team.
And sometimes it just comes to finding those frags and really closing things out. We've got Volt here ready to speak on that monumentous win over the Wave Riders. Come on, step in. We've got to talk to you. We'll take off our headset. At least one of us will.
Yeah,
I think Joseph, if you want to take off your headset, you can put them in. You can also stand here and ask some questions if you'd like, and you guys can just talk into the same mic for yourselves. Andrew, my friend, Volt, how's it going? How are you doing? How did that match feel? I mean, what the heck, dude? The first map of Split, or of Ascent, rather. Let's talk about that, right? A really slow start. What came back into your guys' minds to really close things out?
So Ascent for us was a map that we haven't played very often. It's not usually one of the maps that we usually go for. So for them to pick it first, we had a warm-up scrim before we played, and it was on Ascent, so we had a little bit of practice. We changed our KO player to Breach. Putting Max on Breach really allowed us to create more lanes with the Breach stun and everything, so it allows us to keep up the pace a little bit more and allow Nate to get those op picks where we could stun and then he could dash up, create some space, stuff like that. So that was the biggest thing for us. We had that comp change, and then the practice beforehand. Winning that map was honestly pretty strong for us and gave us a great advantage.
Did you have an idea that they were going to pick Ascent? It seems like you guys were kind of like assuming that they were going to go to Ascent.
Yeah, we had a thought. I mean, I know that they are very strong in Ascent, and they have beat certain teams on that map, so we were prepped for it, and we had in mind that was going to be picked, but we also were just waiting to see maybe they throw out a curveball. We've had teams ban Fracture first map, and so we were trying to just waiting to see what they decided to do, and they went with Ascent first map. So
Yeah, it feels like you guys kind of won the map bans. But let's talk about map number 2 real briefly. Nader struggled quite a lot in that map. What changed? What was some of the struggles here just overall in map number 2? What are some of the difficulties you guys had, especially on the defensive side, where y'all were real slow, especially on the defense?
So Split is a map we also haven't played very often. We are kind of changing from our normal maps we've played into some more default heavy and slower maps like Split and Ascent for the most part. Our Split was very slow paced, and we didn't take advantage of a lot of the gaps that they left. And so a lot of the times when they execute, they saved a lot of util. They came out choke points, and then they had a lot of util for post and to clear angles and stuff like that. So our biggest problem was either not getting the first blood or not taking that space, and we changed that up completely on Fracture.
Yeah, and after 2 tight and close maps there, you go into map number 3, right? And that is Fracture. That's your guys' bread and butter, it seems. At least this semester,
Yeah.
it seems like it's been your bread and butter, where you guys just love that. I don't know what the heck happened, because the first map, very close, right? Map 2, close again. Then you go into Fracture, and you guys just run ship all around the Wave Riders, right? So what happened? What came through? What is it, the team play, that you guys are just so good about Fracture, about playing together overall?
Our biggest thing is playing together, but we play fast. So we execute and we burst together and we snappy, Max run in, just go. We follow him. He goes the whole way, and that's about all we got to do.
Yeah, Watanabe took Neon and decided to run with it. We kind of commented, Joseph and I, early on in the map of why the pick of Neon, but
it's speed.
It really
it's all about
worked
speed,
out, and it was incredible to watch. A lot of big plays just overall coming in that match for you guys. You all look super dominant in map number 3. I'll let Joseph, though, go ahead and ask some questions of his own, if he's got any, for you guys. So I will step away. I'll let him have a chance as you guys all crowd in here.
Man, we're going to need a bigger space. We're going to do post-game interviews. Okay. Well, obviously, you guys did really well on that last map, and that was really fun. Were you just goofing off towards the end, just doing the best you could? Just like, what if I did this?
I mean, Fracture's just a map where you wait for them, you get the info where they're playing, and then you just burst and execute. You throw the neon wall out, and you just run at them and spam a bunch of util and just hope they don't, pick you off while you're running in. That's the biggest thing for sure, is just speed.
Something Mason and I had been talking about is that Nader lurk, seemingly just to mess with them and take out as many as possible. Is that something you guys do just on Fracture, or every map?
I think Fracture is definitely one of those maps that you have to have a lurk and creating that space elsewhere on the map. So a lot of the times you'll see us do a 4-1 where we have Nate topside, then Nate topside and the 4 bottom, and then that way if he gets pressured too hard, he can just come back to us and we can group together. So that was the biggest thing. It's just keeping him lurking, and then he can find an opening, get some more info for us, and then maybe we can rotate out where we're going and just run all the way back with Neon. So
yeah, it seemed to work really well. They didn't have an answer for it, and I was telling Mason, we were talking about it. We're like, maybe they'll figure out that if Nate's there, they're not going to be there. The rest of the team won't be. Yeah. And then they took the timeout and kind of seemed to figure maybe don't engage against him. But as far as that, we were talking about the second match. I know he asked you a couple questions about what went wrong, and your explanations made sense. We were really rooting for you, but what was it? What do you think was by far the biggest problem for you personally on that one?
I think for me, it's also hard to find, a lot of frags on stage with the amount of util you have to throw, and then basically your whole kit is to stall. So once you're out of util, you just take a fight and then hope you either get one and die, or you die and then somebody trades you. So there's only so much you can do, but obviously there's always room for improvement, and that's always something to look forward to. But overall, I think we had a great series, and I think that was a good way to end NECC.
Oh yeah, we got some highlight reels for sure out of that one. We had Nader going for a 4-piece combo. We're calling it going Caniac.
I saw it in chat. That was really fun.
Yeah, I think we call it. He's going Caniac. That was awesome. And then Watanabe there at the end, just pulling off some crazy moves using Neon.
Yeah, that slide definitely faked him out.
Dude, the very first time he did it against the KO, we were like, what just happened? We were like, oh no, he's got his back to him. But then you whip it around and then you just straight up take him out. It was such a great play because that was the one where Nader covered him with the Bulldog. Yeah. It was excellent. And then you kept doing it to them and they didn't have an answer for it. What was going through your mind, Watanabe?
Not much. Just speed.
Just speed. Your brain was literally going burr.
No, he always gets mad at me because I barely have any first blood, so now I have to get in first every single time.
You're not first or last.
Exactly.
Was that your orders going into this match?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He goes in, we follow him in.
It's either that or I get bullied by him. So.
That was awesome. It was definitely cool seeing you hit those ults for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Was it that last time? There was 2 in a row, and then you went in with the pistol anyways. You said, forget it. I'm going. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Was it who did it earlier? I think it was when you guys suckered in Ghost for that lurk in the second one, and I think it was Boss who did it with a trade off. That was really funny. Yeah. Yeah, he did a great job. Was it a good switch out, you feel?
From caster to star.
From caster to star player in one series.
From caster to star.
Yep. Yeah. In one game.
Boss, come on.
Come on.
Come on up.
Caster, come on.
Come on, beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to have Eli back up in here in his familiar spot. Ask him how he was thinking now on the player end instead of up here as a caster. All right, Eli, what were you thinking going through let's say, your last one? Let's start with the super highlight. You were popping off in there, getting some crazy kills, using your utils to their utmost best ability. What was going through your mind?
Shoot them before I get shot and just throw util before I die, and it worked out. Max is insane, so it worked out. Yeah.
We got to say, there was a lot of combos where you were able to flash like perfectly. There was the one instance where you covered for Watanabe, got them flashed, he ran in, got 2, then ran back all the way to the hallway, and he went just sprayed the stinger. Didn't kill anyone, but got damaged.
Yeah.
And we were like, what a play. We were talking about teamwork. It was a consistent thing you guys were doing really well in the first match, and especially in the last one. The second one, we saw you guys struggling. We're like, and then you brought it back, and we're like, cool. And then they finished out, and we were like, dang it. And then you guys just full wipe pretty much in the last one. So we really love seeing your guys' teamwork. It really showed off in your guys' picks. It was a great job. Eli, how does it feel to be on the other end?
That feels good. I get to shoot gun. It's great. Very easy. I don't have to think of pre-show the whole time and just hope that I can cover, because that's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he gets here that early when we broadcast, too, so he's just consistently early.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I don't think I got any more questions for you guys. You want to hop back in here, Mason?
There you go.
Wrap things up here, I think. Thanks, guys. Well, again, congrats to you guys on your win. Volt, Boss, everyone else here at GCU Valorant. Overall, an incredible job by the guys to close things out, but that'll be it for us. That's our last broadcast of the semester. We're sad to go, but let's have Evan and Kevin, our wonderful broadcast and observer, come on through. Let's have them go back here. They're the face behind the scenes sometimes, making things happen. There's Evan on your all's side here. I think it's your right. You've seen this guy probably a couple times on League. Obviously, Kevin, our observer, doing a great job as well. Thank you again for everything that you guys do. You all make this thing run. We're just here to talk and spew some things about whatever's happening in the match. But in reality, it's these guys who get everything going, and obviously we cannot thank them enough. And everyone else here at the GCU Esports broadcast team. But I think that's it, guys. I think we got to say our final goodbyes.
Until next year, yeah.
Until next time, make sure you all tune in. Make sure you join the GCU Esports Discord. That's obviously how we get a lot of information out to you all. And also make sure that if you're interested in joining the broadcast team, that you check that out as well through the Esports Discord. Check the announcements. There will be postings, I'm sure, aplenty, as we'd love to welcome more members to the broadcast team. That being said, that will complete the year for us here for GCU, at least a semester. Until the fall, we will see you all next time.